title game. Late in the third quarter, it's Caleb Considine. He is doing everything here. He's with a 6-yard rush. One of 3 touchdowns of the day.
Again, just a hard-running inside runner, and again, great job up front as well by the line.
That was a big one. They went ahead 42-29. Now early in the fourth, Dade Eisenmenger was playing his heart out there, found Tyler Henry. One of 3 great wide receivers today with over 100 yards.
Confident passer back there. If you're Central Missouri, you got to be thrilled he's coming.
Eisenmenger again finds Mason O'Neal.
Ridiculous. Teardrop. Look at how he dropped that pass in. That is awesome.
Now middle of the fourth, Considine again. This was a short one.
Yeah, just again, it's what he does. It's what he's done for 4 years for Byron.
56-50. Now here we have the onside kick, and this was when it seemed like everything could change for Unity.
This is why I never want to see the onside kick banned in high school football. Seriously, it is such a difference maker, and it was here.
You're used to watching him on offense, but take a look at that pass breakup. That was Cade Considine once again.
And that's how you want to go out if you're Unity. You had 1 bullet left in your gun. You laid it out on the line. No shame in that at all.
Byron running back Caden Considine finished with a record high 367 rushing yards along with 3 touchdowns. That play at the end, he got the nod from his coach and his teammates, is what ultimately won the game for the Tigers. But how about that? Just a record-setting day for Considine.
And when he's making that run at the end, you can see how cramped up he is, and he still just kept going. Unbelievable. And one other thing I want to note, look at the sportsmanship during this game on both sides. I saw kids helping kids up. I didn't see any finger pointing. I didn't see any smack talk. Beautiful. That is how you play high school football.
And you saw it from Considine in his post-game interview there with Kalia as well, talking about, first of all, giving roses to all of his teammates and to his opponents, saying that Eisenmenger played an incredible game, threw for 545 yards and 7 touchdowns on the other side. They knew this was a tough team to play, and Considine at the end giving respect to Unity as well.
No doubt. And again, just a game for the ages in IHSA state championship football, no question.
Unity falling short. It was the first season under head coach Tony Reitz, but still an incredible showing, and exciting to see what they're going to be able to do next year building off this.
Tony, I think they're going to want you to top it next year. I mean, that's just, come on, you went this far in year 1. Let's take them a little farther year 2. A great year. Setting
the bar as high as it goes. But this game is exactly what you want to see out of IHSA football state finals. Down to the wire win. The Gatorade getting poured there by the Byron Tigers, the 3A champions.
It's Menards Black Friday sale. Get everything you need to bring home the holidays. From the tastiest sweet treats for your family, to the perfect presents for playing with your pets, and toys under the tree for the kids, to tools and accessories for any project, plus huge savings on new appliances. Menards has great gifts for everyone in your family. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals won't last long. Tired of Erica Gilcock career path? There's a cream.
Smooth and
Shipping.
A message from our friends at Menards. Remember, you can save big money on all your home improvement needs with Menards.
I love to be able to make something that didn't exist at the beginning of the day.
Seeing nature can be inspiring. I want to make things that can mold well with nature.
We love sitting around our kitchen table. We spend a lot of time coloring and drawing and just having fun being creative together. Something exciting.
Wonderful. I was things that
Just
Excellent.
Off, just
We live here in more land. Flex. Go ahead. Dense.
sure.
Classroom to the.
It's the vanilla problem of more
60,000 student athletes. And
it's got a very high-powered offense. And you got to make Montini one-dimensional if you're them on defense. You got to either make them throw the ball through the air and make Izzy Abrams beat you, or have them run the football against Rochester. For Montini, can you keep Abrams clean? We did the 4A semifinal against Morris. He had a lot of pressure in his face in that game. So that offensive line was challenged, I have to believe, during practice. Can they keep Abrams clean and run to the football? Rochester is an up-tempo, fast-paced offense. Can you run to the football and tackle their playmakers, get lined up for another play, and make it happen again?
Rochester won the toss. They want the ball. They will get it first. Back deep for the Rockets will be the brothers Gregory. 2 of the 3 brothers Gregory. It'll be Corbin Gregory. He wears number 22. Corbin is the senior. Cornell Gregory wears number 24. They're deep. It'll be Johnny Louise to kick it off for the Montini Broncos. And our 4A championship game is underway, and it will not get to the deep back. It will be fallen upon right there, covering it up safely for Rochester is Macklin Nelson. Here come the Rockets. We will see 2 quarterbacks alternating. Not every play, not every series, just whenever Derek Leonard feels as though it's time to make just a change for whatever strategy he wants. You're looking at number 3 right there. That's J.P. Leonard. J.P., the nephew of the head coach, Derek Leonard. They usually start him and just see where it goes. Those are the words of Derek Leonard. Rochester will play fast. They like to get plays off in 10 seconds or less once that ball is whistled dead. Here's the first snap of the game to Leonard. They'll go on the ground. This is Caden Stout. Scout stretched out, and he'll get a couple of yards. Tonight's starting lineups are presented by OSF Healthcare. And a look at Rochester's starting lineup. Stout will be one of those key figures in that lineup, along with J.P. Leonard. We'll also see Tanner Beal at the quarterback spot. The Rockets ready to go. And they like to spread the field. Leonard looks over here to the near sidelines. Rochester, the visiting team, they're on the near side. Leonard quickly avoids possible interception or deflection, and he'll get it out quickly to Tristan Stanton. OSF starting lineups of the game defensively for Montini. Santino Tenuta, an all-stater right there in the middle.
Yeah, Santino Tenuta is a stud at linebacker. Johnny Louise had a really good semifinal game also for this team. As you see Rochester moving quickly, ball just out of the reach of the wide receiver there. The man who made the play on that screen for a first down was Peyton Nelson. He commands that back half of that Montini defense. They like to run a little bit of cover 3, and they are really relying on their corners a lot tonight against this Rochester offense who wants to stretch you vertically when they can.
Straight up the middle, Louise with a quick early hit on the running back coming out of the backfield. That was Everett Tabag. Tabag, the sophomore, who's come on so strong here in the last half of the season and in playoffs.
Tenuto also in there on the tackle with Louise. Really impressive as Rochester lines up again. This is one of their formations that they like. They've got somebody that's way out of the screen, set way back.
That is Stout. He is about 17 yards behind the line of scrimmage on that left hash. As Chris said, you cannot even see him in the frame. He's going to get the pass. Deflected off his hands and intercepted. Oh, no, he did not get it. It was right there.
Gonna rule it incomplete. Not sure whose hands that went off of. Rochester's fortunate that they didn't call that a live ball.
Yes.
Because that ball was thrown a yard behind the quarterback. And that's the risk that you take if you're Rochester when you run that formation.
Laddie Ihsa nearly had the pick. It is 4th down. Might be 4th and 9. Leonard is a punter also.
And Montini has nobody back, so they're going to get a good roll on this.
And it will come dead at about the 6-yard line. 52-yard punt from J.P. Leonard. And Montini will start in the hold, but the defense holds the Rockets early.
52 yards on the punt by Leonard.
Montini offense looks like this, brought to you by OSF Healthcare. It starts and ends. It starts, but it doesn't necessarily end with the quarterback Israel Abrams. He goes by Izzy.
Yeah, you're going to hear his name called quite a bit tonight. We had a really good quarterback in the 3A game. We've got another good one here as Izzy Abrams, who put on a heck of a performance in the 3A game last year, comes back to Hancock Stadium and hopes to bring Montini a 4A title tonight.
He's going to keep it on first down. Abrams, one of the highly recruited quarterbacks in the nation, 6'4", 187-pound junior. Heck, Derek Leonard, the head coach for Rochester, who knows something about quarterbacks, said Abrams, one of the best quarterbacks he's ever seen.
And if you watch this game, you're going to find out why he's one of the highly touted quarterbacks in the country, because he can make every single throw in the book. I mean, he has impressive arm talent. He can keep the play alive with his feet. He's got touch on the football. He can sling it in there into a tight window. He's really impressive. And Montini's got a lot of weapons that he can get it to.
He'll come to the near left side. Catch is made by Luca Florio. Now, Florio's a familiar name to you. Well, Santino Florio, his older brother, was on last year's state championship team. They both wore number 1. Here's the defense. Gregory brothers there in the cornerback positions. Tanner Beal will go both ways, as will Nate Sweeney. In fact, you'll see a lot of players here going both ways. On the ground, Isaac Alexander, his first carry goes nowhere.
That's a really impressive stop there by Rochester. That was Colton Maltby, a big nose tackle in the middle, helping to make that play, and then a couple of his teammates rally up for a first down stop. Isaac Alexander, a really good tailback for Montini, an all-stater, bottled up on his first run here in the state title game.
Abrams quickly in the flat. Room to run. Across the 40. Across the 45. The completion will go to Nico Castaldo.
That was inches away from disaster for Montini. It was a really good read by the corner. I'm not sure who that was on that number there, but he almost gets a hand on it and breaks that play up in the backfield. But instead, it's Castaldo who's off to the races, and a big first down for Montini.
27 yards on the play. Montini coming out of there from inside their own 10-yard line. They reached the 46. Abrams stands tall in the pocket. Plenty of time. All he has to do is wait and find his man. Luca Florio with the reception on the far sideline. That is one of the traits here of Montini. They have outstanding receivers. You already saw Castaldo and Florio. Tomasio Ortegon. Isaac Alexander, also a great pass catcher. Inside to Alexander. He runs hard. Isaac Alexander stands 5'9". He weighs 196 pounds. Heck, his coach, Mike Bukowski, who's in his 9th season as a head coach. Bukowski said you can make an argument that Alexander has been our best all-round player.
Well, and they're very fortunate that they can do things like this. They can split him out when they want to go 5 wide. He's so dynamic. He can stay in the backfield. He can play wide receiver. On that one, he had a huge hole opened up by his offensive line. Nice job by the big man up front.
Abrams finds Florio. Florio angling for the corner. He'll win the race. Luca Florio, touchdown. And that didn't take long. A 33-yard touchdown. Pass and catch to Florio.
Luca Florio showing off the speed. It's just a quick slant on the one receiver side. And a nice job by Florio to get all the way to the end zone. Montini can spread it out, and they can make you pay with a number of different wide receivers. That time it's Florio who finds pay dirt.
Extra point attempt coming up from Johnny Louise, 54-59, and extra points this year. Line drive kick. makes it through. So the Montini Catholic Broncos, an opening possession of this game, score this 33-yard touchdown pass from Abrams to Florio.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know.
That was a good ass route, I ain't gonna lie.
Ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar.
Dot for a touchdown. Great way to start the 4A championship. Great way to start it off.
It's Menards Black Friday sale. Get everything you need to bring home the holidays. From the tastiest sweet treats for your family.
Our game got moved till Tuesday, not till Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
For the kids. To tools and accessories for
Still on their ass.
Plus huge savings
We need
on
this.
new appliances. Menards has great gifts for everyone in your family. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals won't last long.
The IHSA Football State Finals are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Say yes to SIU.
The classes 1A and 6A. It's the northern bracket against the southern bracket. Rochester representing the south. Not too far south, just outside Springfield. About an hour, a little over an hour drive to Hancock Stadium in Normal. And for Montini, from Lombard, the western suburbs of Chicago, very familiar path to a state finals, wherever it may be for the Broncos. And they make their way right down here, playing tonight in the, what was the 7 o'clock game. It's kind of become the 8 o'clock game because of the length of our 3A championship game. Again, last year, it was a championship for the Broncos, and we are down to 20 degrees here. But the good news, just 2-mile-per-hour wind. Now, let's look ahead to tomorrow. No championship football played here at Illinois State University tomorrow. You're probably already aware of that. Illinois State University has closed their campus for tomorrow. Plans being made as to when those 5, 6, 7, and 8A championship games will be played at some point to be determined. So this will be our last championship game of this Friday-Saturday weekend. Predicting several inches of snow and wind here as pretty much everybody in Illinois, from about the point we are here, central Illinois north, understands. Here's a low rolling kick. Picked up at the 15-yard line. Gregory with it. He'll get out to the 31-yard line. So this is what it looks like when we get to those 5, 6, 7, and 8 championship games. Providence Catholic and St. Francis will take identical 10-3 records, as will East St. Louis and Fenwick. That's your 6A championship. A rematch, Brother Rice and St. Rita in 7A. Mount Carmel bidding for its 4th consecutive state championship. They will take on Oswego. Oswego, the surprise team here in these 8 championship ball games. On the handoff the other way from Stout to Gregory, and Montini was right there. Loss of yardage on the play. The carry actually went to Cordell Gregory. Now, Cordell is a sophomore. He's the twin with Cornell. Corbin, the senior. All 3 of those brothers play basketball, along with their youngest brother, Carter. Their dad's an assistant basketball coach at Rochester. So negative yardage on first down. A loss of 4. To the right side, a little bit too wide, looking for Tristan Stanton.
This is not at all the start you wanted if you were Rochester, to be behind the chains early on 2 straight possessions. Had to punt on the first one, and now you're already at 3rd and long in this second one. This is why I mentioned in the keys to the game, you got to grab the momentum early, because it could quickly get away from you if you are Rochester.
Connor Broughton sprints in off the sideline, line up at the right tight end. 2-way player and all-stater for the Rockets. 3rd and 14. Leonard gets good protection. And misses on that pass to Stanton. So So Montini doing exactly what they wanted to do. Rochester has completed only 1 of 5 passes here in the first 6 minutes of this game. And this time, Montini will send Florio back to return this punt on 3rd and 14. He's going to trot up a little bit. I don't know that they completely buy the punt here.
I think they're trying to just make him play deep safety at this point, because
Leonard gets it away. Florio will watch it hop and wisely will stay away from it. Good field position here for Montini to start its second drive after a 41-yard kick from Leonard.
You have a flag on the near sideline during that play. It looked like it may have even been a block in the back on Montini. If so, that's an unfortunate penalty for the Broncos, because it was well after the ball was rolling dead.
Get our call.
Walking back. Number 2, Montini. This will be penalized 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, Montini.
There you have it. Important drive here for the Rochester defense with the way that Montini sliced through them on their first possession.
It really is, and they got a couple of big runs, but it was really the arm of Izzy Abrams was able to carve up Rochester early in this game. Izzy Abrams can throw the ball just about anywhere on the field. And they like to take big shots on first down after a change of possession. Let's see if they do it here early in this drive.
In that first possession, Abrams was 4 of 4 in the air to 3 different receivers. And he's in trouble now, and he's going down.
And if you're Rochester, that's how you're going to have to stay in this ball game, is you're going to have to get pressure on Izzy Abrams. And like I said, in the semifinal, Montini struggled with Morris's pressure. And even earlier in the playoffs, they struggled with Cole City as well, who brought some pressure. That time, it was the 3-man front from Rochester plus a blitzing linebacker. They brought 4, and they were able to get the sack and make it 2nd and long.
Connor Broughton, the All-Stater, number 88, one of those in on that play. The loss of 7. A straight drop back. This is Alexander. He'll get yardage to the 20. Got about 5 yards.
That time the front for Rochester read, screen, and played it really well. Colton Maltby, you can see here, watch him retrace his steps and get into the hip pocket of that tailback there, Alexander. It's a really good job. He doesn't end up making the play, but he does a really nice job of tracing the tailback steps and stringing that out to the sideline where his teammates can make the tackle.
Big 3rd down and 13 here. Abrams looking left all the way. He's got a couple of players out there overthrown. Florio was on the inside. And it was Johnny Newstead also out there.
Looked to be a miscommunication between the Montini wide receivers, because 2 of them end up in the exact same spot. You can see there, that's not typically how you want to be. You got a 3 wide receiver set on that side, and 2 of them end up within arm's distance of each other. A miscommunication, and then the ball just falls incomplete.
First incompletion of the night for Abrams. But it's away, fair catch called, and dropped, and recovered. Corbin Gregory. Early going, Montini on top, 7-zip in your 4A championship game.
Every great team starts with trust. The kind of trust that builds over time. For 50 years, Country Financial has teamed up with IHSA in our communities. And for 100 years, we've protected you with insurance that does more. From the best times to the tough ones, a great team's got your back when it matters most. Thanks for your trust for 100 years. Here's to 100 more. Country Financial.
Dave Bernhardt, Chris Hyland in the booth. Let's go down to the field and meet the third member of our broadcast team, and that is Kalia Butler.
Montini is an incredibly dominant program. We see them getting on the board first in this game, but they have a 13-0 record on the season. But that's not just this season. They now have a 23-game winning streak dating back to week 5 of last year. As for Rochester, Coach Derek Leonard said that he hadn't experienced an overtime game in 14 years, and in just this season alone, they have had 3 overtime games, winning 2 of them, showing the fight they took to get to this title game.
Thank you, Kalia. As we come back, resume play. The snap went directly to the fullback, Evram Tabag. J.P. Leonard, the quarterback, kind of took one step, turned towards the sideline. Tabag got it, and he picked up about 8 yards on first down.
Yeah, a little bit of a trick play. They caught a couple of Montini linebackers sleeping on it as well, as we see the quarterbacks change out here now.
Tanner Beal in. He'll go on the inside pitch to Nate Swaney. Swaney will get that first down. You know, and back to Kalia's point about those overtime games, in the quarterfinals, it was a 41-35 overtime win over Sacred Heart Griffin. And then in the semifinals, an overtime 43-42 win over Breese Central that got Rochester here. They lost an overtime game earlier in the season to Glenwood. Last year, the Rockets were eliminated in the first round when they lost in overtime to Notre Dame. Here's a pass over the middle. That goes inside the 20-yard line. Completion to Eli Cox. That was Peoria Notre Dame last year. So you've got Tanner Beal and J.P. Leonard, the quarterbacks. How about this for numbers? In terms of passing yardage on the season, Leonard at 1442, Beal at 1393, 12 and 13 touchdown passes respectively. So those numbers split almost dead center. Now a little bit trickery here again. Here goes Cordell Gregory. Gregory cuts it inside. So we're seeing a little bit of the Rochester playbook here early. You know, I should not say trickery with Rochester because this is their game.
It's just part of the everyday. As you see here, another wide receiver split out 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Not sure if we got the number there. It was Nate Swaney. They're going to use him as a decoy on this one.
And they'll give it to Caden Stout, yet another All-Stater, and that's where you pick up your huge chunk of All-Staters when you get to your state championship ball games. He's a senior, and Derek Leonard said, I would have never predicted All-Stater as a freshman. Thought he was going to be a wide receiver, moved him to a running back, and he has been absolutely outstanding. Stout's rushed for almost 1,200 yards. Throwing back. Stumbling. Costing yardage there as Beal found his man, Cordell Gregory. Right, that's Stout.
Yeah, it was Stout again, and that's a crucial play because it's going to bring up 4th down. He was just shy of the sticks. He might have been able to get there if he would have kept his feet on the throwback screen. Instead, it's 4th and 2.
Torrey Myron is checked into the game, an extra blocking back. Lined up between left guard and tackle.
Coach Leonard keeps trying to shorten the distance of these wide receivers here. You wonder if they're going to try and go with like maybe a quick out-breaking route or if they're going to try and keep the ball on the ground here. Let's see.
Play clock went down to 0. Did they get the timeout? They did. And you caught it there, Chris. Derek Leonard not happy. But that he had to use a timeout or some misalignment.
Coach Leonard's always been one to wear his emotions on his sleeves on the sideline. You can tell exactly how things are going if you just watch the Rochester head coach. He was not happy before that play.
You know what he is happy about, though? These seniors, this senior group did not have a winning season in the junior league in Rochester. This senior group was 3-6 as a freshman. They would have never been predicted to get to this point. Again, the hard work, the attitude in Rochester of you're expected to win. He is so proud of this group of people.
He has built quite a tradition down there. School hasn't even been open that long, and He's already got 9 state titles to his name.
A stretch of 8 of those coming in a 10-year span between 2010 and 2019. So we're back here at a 4th down and 2. Ball sitting at the 11-yard line. Plenty of beef in the backfield. Right up the middle. Tabag will get the first down. And more. Tabag in the end zone. Evram Tabag. He scored the touchdown in overtime and the semifinal. He scored the 2-point conversion to win it. And he gets Rochester on the board here at the 107 mark.
And look at him just keep those feet rolling. Rochester comes out of the timeout in a more traditional running set with actually 2 tight ends in the backfield in front of their quarterback, and they just use power football as that kick is blocked. They use some power football to get into the end zone, but it's a blocked kick. It keeps Montini ahead by 1.
That may have been Peyton Nelson, number 9, that got that block kick. But Rochester took advantage of Montini, unable to score, and there you see the little stutter step. The result, it was actually not blocked by Nelson.
Just couldn't get the snap down. It looked like the hold was off.
So we sit at a 1-point difference. For Montini, they got here by virtue of a 35-0 win over Coal City. Morris fell 47-27 in the semifinals this past Saturday. What a schedule that Montini has played this year. In fact, only Montini and Mount Carmel, the only undefeated teams from the Chicago Catholic League East Suburban Catholic Conference. 9 of the 24 teams from that conference played in the semis. In fact, 7 of them, 7 of that conference out of the 24 are playing for state titles. That's Montini, St. Francis and Providence in 5A, Fenwick in 6A, Brother Rice and St. Rita in 7A, and Mount Carmel in 8A. And a reminder, those games will not be played tomorrow. Those games have been postponed. Stay tuned. Check the IHSA.org website for when and where those championship games will be played. But they will be played. Weather moving through Illinois, safety's sake, along with Illinois State University closing its campus tomorrow. Actually, that decision, Chris, was made fairly early today based on the weather.
Yeah, it was. It was before we even were on the broadcast for the 3A game that word was starting to trickle out throughout the stadium that those games were not going to be played.
This one will come short at about the 16. Return will come out to about the 27-yard line. Brody Boyer with it. 61 seconds of play in the first quarter. 13-0 Broncos taking on Rochester at 12-1. Head coach for Montini, Mike Bukowski, in his 9th season as the head coach, football coach, 69 wins, 30 losses. On the other side, Derek Leonard in his 21st season at Rochester, 217 wins and 40 defeats. Rochester fans below us here on the west side of Hancock Stadium. Abrams quickly to the right side. He gets rid of that ball in a hurry.
And we talked a little bit about how Alexander can be split out in a number of different positions, and there he was out at wide receiver getting that quick hitch from Izzy Abrams. He's 5'9", 195 pounds, not your prototypical wide receiver, but Montini likes to put him in all different spots. You see him here kind of down in the middle of this 3-man bunch now.
Abrams to keep it, stumbled momentarily. Now he hot-foots it down that right sideline. Izzy Abrams, what a game he had. In fact, what a game Montini had against Carmel. That game, midway point in the season, it was week number 6. Montini defeated Carmel 55-54. And in that game, Abrams passed for 568 yards. He has been on fire in the postseason. 3 touchdown passes last week, 4 in the quarterfinals, through 4 touchdown passes in the first round of the playoffs. He has his team a first down. He'll get it to Florio, and that's a good tackle right there. That tackle's not made. Oregon, Damasio Oregon, he could have taken that quite a ways down that far right sideline.
It's a nice job there by Rochester to make the tackle. It looks like they're playing a little bit of man coverage against Montini to mix things up with a one-high safety on some of their plays, as that takes us to the end of the first quarter. But they're going to try and give Izzy Abrams a number of different looks to try and confuse him if they can. He did a really nice job in that first quarter as we got a one-point game headed into quarter number 2.
The IHSA Football State Finals is brought to you in part by Ashley. Style begins at home. IBEW Local 134. Building careers, building the future. Chicagoland Roofing Council. Chicagoland's best value, best roofs all year long. Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17. Go green with Local 17.
Ashley's Black Friday is finally here. For one day only, shop this doorbuster sofa, now just $2.99. Or take 30% off your entire purchase. Plus, free white glove delivery. Doors are open from 7 a.m. to midnight. Don't miss Black Friday at Ashley.
When Chicago's most critical infrastructure needs power, they don't just call any electrician. They call IBEW Local 134. From the city's tallest towers to its most advanced data centers, the projects that matter most trust only IBEW Local 134. Because power in Chicago isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people, safety, innovation, and the future of our city. We are the men and women of IBEW Local 134. We power Chicago with electrical excellence.
Attention building and facility managers. Did you know mechanical insulation around a building's heating and cooling system is a vital resource? Insulation protects from energy loss, physical damage, and pays for itself quickly. For more than 125 years, the contractors of Heat and Frost Insulators have helped build healthier, greener, and more efficient facilities. Hire the best. Scan the QR code for a list of contractors with the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17 or visit us at local17insulators.com.
Ashley's biggest sale of the year gets even better this weekend. Now through Monday, shop doorbusters starting at just $1.99 or get 0% interest for 60 months with no money down. Plus, our price match guarantee means you'll always get the best deal. Don't miss Black Friday weekend at your local Ashley.
Told you about those 2 overtime games for Rochester. Let's take a look back just 2 weeks ago in the quarterfinals. Here it was. This was the winner over Sacred Heart Griffin in overtime, and that put Rochester into the state semifinals where they met Breeze Central. Now, Rochester trailing by 2 touchdowns. Here's Ephraim Tabagi had just scored a touchdown. This is the 2-point conversion. Yep, Rochester went for 2 rather than the extra point and tie. And it's Tabag that sends Rochester here to the state championship ball game. I don't know that I have ever seen a team get to a title game winning back-to-back overtime games. So Derek Leonard, you heard Kalia earlier say, you know, he hadn't really coached in an overtime game, and he has 4 within 365 days. His team is here. His team is down by 1. Glad you've joined us here at Hancock Stadium for a championship game with Chris Highland. I'm Dave Bernhardt. Kalia Butler's on the field. We will start the second quarter. Montini in the maroon jerseys moving from left to right. They'll send Alexander in motion to the left. Here's Abrams. He'll loft it deep. He's got Oregon there. Damasio Oregon with the catch at the 21-yard line. But there is a flag down after a 30-yard pass. Let's see whether that stays. Everybody's kind of wandering back to the line of scrimmage.
What a catch by Oregon. Not sure what the penalty is, but an unbelievable throw and catch for a huge play that might come off the board right now for Montini.
71 on the offense. This will be paused 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, second down.
So take away that big gain, subtract 10 more yards, and that's where Montini will take it.
Let's see if we can see it. They said 71, I believe, so it's going to be on the right side of your screen right there. Looks like he's got his hand around Angelo DeSensei's got his hand around the shoulder pad of the defender there. Crucial penalty after a very big play by Montini.
Here comes the blitz. Coming hard on Abrams. He has to get rid of it. Here's Erdogan again.
That was a fucking dime. That was a seed. Buddy gonna be good, man. Buddy gonna be good. I mean, he already good. But look at that ball. Quick release. Look at the spot on that motherfucker. Oh my goodness.
Just like that, it goes from
Pick.
second and
Thank
long
you.
to first and 10.
Who's calling my phone? Who's calling my phone? Yeah, give me that shit.
Saw the throw, the toe tap on the sideline. Great job to
Buddy
move
might
back
be
into
gone.
Rochester territory.
Alexander has a hole. He's got a full head of steam.
Oh shit, I wasn't even talking about him, but he gone too. Shit. Oh, bro. Touchdown, Montini.
There's another flag on the play, though. Hang on. Right here on the Rochester sideline.
Will this come back? Everybody's walking back that way. Takes away a touchdown. Our officials in our 7A game, Scott Teleski along with John Kester, Jim Kleinfelter, Eric Lurs, and Mike Clark. Working in 20-degree weather here in your 4A championship game. 2 big penalties here on the Broncos. And this is going to take it all the way back into Montini territory. That would have been a 43-yard touchdown.
Another huge play taken away from Montini on this drive. Now, if you can find a silver lining, Montini has had some success on that run play there. That's the second time that they've had Alexander on that exact same run. That power where they pull the guard, kick out the end, and then it's Alexander through the B gap. The officials having a little conversation probably about where this ball should be spotted.
Montini state champions in 24, 2015, 2009 through 2012, 4 straight. Won a 4A championship in 2004. So they've won state championships in 4 different classes in school history. The Ramos will go to work with a 1st and 20. And a nifty little back step. He'll just flip it up in the air. Rochester will want grounding. And will they get a flag? I don't see one. Now there may be a discussion on this. This has been kind of a disjointed last 3 plays here for the Broncos.
We take a look at the replay. It's another pressure package by Rochester. Connor Broughton through the middle of that Montini offensive line forces the pressure of Izzy Abrams. Had to do quite a bit to move around early in this game. Done a good job of avoiding most of the pressure. He has been sacked 1 time, but you can see there his passing stats so far this evening.
Still not sure what's happening. I guess we'll find out right now.
It's a 5-yard penalty in the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 2nd down.
So that penalty flag is now sitting at the 38-yard line. I feel like it's
Look at Buddy at. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, look at his ass, man.
How about that? 3 huge penalties here on Montini. First minute of this 2nd quarter.
This has been a pretty disjointed drive for Montini. It's hard to get any momentum when there's been so many discussions by the officials so many penalties.
Mike Bukowski not happy at all.
Well, the last time they were this far behind the chains, Izzy Abrams was able to get them out of trouble right away. Let's see what the junior quarterback can do this time.
He'll go over the middle. Nearly intercepted. Had that ball gotten through, Luca Florio was ready to go.
It was Nate Swaney who came up to make the play from his safety position. He's reading the eyes the whole time and gets a hand on it. Nice job there. The forced third and forever for Montini.
Forever means 34 yards. They have to get all the way to the Rochester 33-yard line.
And they got to get this ball snapped. This play clock's under 3.
A little screen that side. Florio comes up way short, and that whole sequence there really has brought this Rochester crowd to their feet and alive. It will be 4th down and punting unit coming on for Montini.
Yeah, if you remember, I mean, Montini was waltzing into the end zone with Alexander early in that drive, about to go up by 7, and then the penalty brings it back, and all of a sudden, Rochester, like you mentioned, Dave, has some life and might be able to take a lead of their own here.
Corbin Gregory wisely just lets this roll. It will work out. Ball inside the 20 on that kick. 39 yards. We've got a timeout. 2 minutes into the second quarter, a 1-point game. Your 4A championship game.
Every day we make choices. Some may seem small, but they add up. In moments of pressure,
for you today, it's always game on.
Kalia Butler has more than the legendary coach for Montini.
To follow up on that, I spoke with Mike Bukowski, and he said that he just absolutely loves coaching. I had to ask, considering he's also the wrestling coach as well as an assistant softball coach, spending over 30 years as a football coach. He said he loves coming in early, breaking down film, so much that goes into being successful. And when you see that sacrifice pay off and making the pressure and expectations fulfill exactly what it means to be a champion, there is nothing more that he would rather be doing. And this is the most important year for the boys every single year.
That's right, Kalia. That's a National Hall of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame coach right there, Mike Bukowski. You know, Mike Bukowski is an alum of Montini. I'll tell you more about that right after this play. Beal will flip it out of the backfield. This time he will get it to Jory Myron, and a flag goes down. But for Mike Bukowski, you know, he wanted to go to Hinsdale when he was let's say a younger fellow ready to enter high school. He wanted to go to Hinsdale South with all his friends. And his mom forced him to go to Montini. His mom said, okay, you've got to go to Montini for 1 semester. So he did.
Offense number 2.
He fell in love with the school and the culture. And 40 years later of coaching, he's still there. In fact, right now, Mike Bukowski is a director of admissions at Montini. So for a young fella who didn't want to go to that high school when he was entering his freshman year, he's now director of admissions.
It's a testament to the school. It's a testament to the program. And he has just continued to build on the tradition there at Montini. We talked about the 7 state titles that they have to their name. Rochester with 9 of their own on the other side. This is one of the more decorated 4A state title games that we've had, especially in recent history in the state of Illinois.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the week. Actually, you brought it up during our broadcast last week on NFHS Network, that this matchup features teams with 16 state championships coming into this game, and you did some research, as I assigned to you.
And the last time, there were 2 teams with 15 or 16 state titles to their name. It was 2 years ago when Derek Leonard's dad, Hall of Famer Ken Leonard, was winning his final state championship game at Sacred Heart Griffin.
He played Providence in that ball game. Providence we'll see at some point in the 5A state championship game this year.
That just goes to show you the tradition, not only within these programs, but in that Leonard family as well. Take a look at this play here. They do connect on this time. The third time we've seen Rochester in that unique formation, and they finally make it work on that play.
Handoff up the middle to Tabag. When you see that formation, you know, you think, oh, I've seen that in the Canadian Football League. The difference is in the CFL, you can just start sprinting straight from that spot.
Yeah, Derek Leonard was one of the first in the state to bring that to Illinois, that new formation. And there's been a couple of teams who have tried it out throughout the state. I don't know if anybody has as much success with it as Rochester does. St. Joseph Ogden does it a little bit in the Illini Prairie down by Champaign, but Rochester's the one that has had the most success with it. Is now we see a new formation. Now we're in the Wildcat here.
Cordell Gregory back there. And the second time here in the first half, and that play clock winding down, Rochester forced to take a timeout.
Been a lot of confusion on that Rochester sideline trying to get plays in. They do this a lot where they'll line up in a formation and then they'll look to their head coach, Derek Leonard, who calls the plays, and try and see if he can put them in the best formation and the best play possible out of that formation. But a couple of times where it's taken too long to get that play call in.
Take a look at some numbers through 13 games coming into this ball game. Of course, we see high-scoring offenses. Rochester right up there. That's what they normally average, around 48 points. Montini just short of that. You see the balance in the offense for Rochester, and with Izzy Abrams, you're going to throw the ball if you're at Montini, and all it adds up to is a 25-1 combined record. These two teams, when the brackets were all set, the North and South, the seeds, the matchups, this was the game that everybody was pointing to. Montini out of the North, Rochester out of the South. On first down and 10, they get away from the Wildcat. Tanner Beal is at quarterback. Beal, the senior, stands tall to Gregory. So how about that? Cordell Gregory was going to be the Wildcat. They called the timeout, and now he becomes the receiver on the end of that first down pass from Beal.
And a nice job by Gregory to find that hole in the Montini zone defense, and an even better throw by Tanner Beal.
Stout tries to pick a hole. It'll go nowhere. Maybe a yard on that final spin. There's Tanner Beal. And again, another one of these players, Derek Leonard said, I never would have predicted his success. Stands at 6'6" back there, also a defensive back. He'll go up under center. And the pitch here to the near side. Gregory has brought down an ankle tackle. Oh my, what a great job by Orlando Greco. Greco, linebacker at 5'11", 190, a junior.
That's what makes Montini so good is, man, they've got some linebackers that can go sideline to sideline with you. There's very few teams in the state that can match Rochester's speed. But Montini's got a few guys who can do it.
After a loss of 2, unable to connect, Beal to Stanton. Stanton's been targeted 3 times. He does not have a catch as of yet.
It's a big drop because it would have moved the chains, and instead Rochester's going to have to punt it away to Montini.
So Leonard comes back into the game to do the punting, and still Montini doesn't buy it completely. Now Florio will retreat in punt formation. 2 punts for Leonard. He's averaged 46.5 yards a punt. Mainly because the return game has said we're going to play very shallow. And this one's going to be a nice roll inside the 10, inside the 5, and down at the 1-yard line. 60 yards on that punt.
What a way to flip the field for Rochester. A great job. If you're going to make this high-powered Montini offense score, might as well make them work for it. 99 yards, they got to go now if they want to extend this 1-point lead.
Great coverage by Rochester. Make sure they knew where their feet were. Let it go as far as it could. Montini will have taken 99 yards to try to build on this 7-6 lead. We thought we'd see a few more points on the board here. Defenses have come up big. Some penalties have hurt. And Abrams will take this snap halfway into that end zone on the north side of Hancock Stadium. Under some pressure. He'll get rid of it, and a drop. Nico Castaldo. Again, we remind you, 20 degrees today. Temperature is up around 30 to start. Fell steadily throughout the day. That ball does not feel very good coming your way.
Early miscues by both teams offensively have cost them both. Some drops on both sides, some penalties that have negated big plays. Montini's got to do something here to get out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Got to try and look for 3 or 4 yards here just to give your punter some room at least.
Looking to throw out of the end zone, and that's an incomplete pass. It is 3rd down and 10.
If you don't get some yards here on 3rd down, you're risking a potential blocked punt and a huge momentum swing. So I'd like to maybe see if Montini can run the ball here on this play. Guarantee yourself a few yards just so that you can give Johnny Louise a little bit of breathing room, your punter.
Snap to Abrams. He's going to crank it up. That ball may have been deflected. 3 incomplete passes from the 1-yard line. The Rochester defense stands tall. And you are right. Johnny Louise will be up against it here.
I mean, this is a huge play now. I mean, ball is tipped by Broughton. And now what happens is you've got a short snap. So the possibility for a blocked punt, but even if it's not blocked, you're going to give Rochester great field position now. Don't love those 3 calls from the 1-yard line.
And a delay of game call, so that will back it up half a yard. And what Montini was doing right there is looking to see if somebody would flinch.
Will be penalized half the distance to the goal.
To flinch to get 5 yards, to give the punt a little more room. Instead, they lose 1.5. Corbin Gregory is deep. Louise able to get it off. Very high kick. Fair catch called. And Rochester will have it at the Montini 28-yard line. 27-yard punt. Rochester in business at the 6:55 mark of the first half.
You built this
championship. Make it Montini 30-yard line with 6:55 to play in the first half. Gregory, he'll throw it. He's got 2 touchdown passes in the postseason. Not this time, though. Cordell Gregory. Cordell missed 9 games with an injury this year. You know, and I take that back. That was Corbin Gregory, his older brother, that had those 2 touchdown passes. A loss of 2 on the play.
Rochester trying to go quick again. Anytime they've got 3 guys split out this way, you got to look for screen. Here it is.
Looking for some blocking. Stout. Goes quickly. by the Broncos.
I like that screen out of that 3 wide receiver formation.
One of the men on the tackle, Laddie Ihsa, 5'7", 180-pound senior.
They got one-on-one coverage to the top of the screen. See if they take advantage.
And that's picked off at the 20-yard line. To the 40. Down to the 30-yard line of Rochester. So the great field position that the Rockets had is denied on the interception by Peyton Nelson.
So Beal did have one-on-one coverage up there, and he looks there right away. The problem is he didn't look off the one high safety. It was man-free. So man coverage underneath with one high safety at the top for the defense. And the problem is Beal just locked eyes on that wide receiver there on that skinny post route, and he never looked off the safety. So all that Peyton Nelson had to do was sit, read the eyes of the quarterback, and wait. He takes advantage in a huge play for Montini.
49-yard return on the interception by Peyton Nelson. Broncos starting at the 31-yard line. Here's Flowers, Charles Flowers. He's on the move. Flowers into the end zone. Touchdown. One play after the interception, Charles Flowers goes in. The lead goes to 13-6.
Just like that. It's the same play that they've had success on all game long. Instead of Alexander's, now it's Flowers who takes it into the end zone. It's a counter, but it's with one offensive lineman pulling. They take that one little stutter step, and then they go back the opposite direction behind the pulling guard or pulling tackle. And this time it's Pater for Montini and Flowers.
Louise looking for the extra point. Bangs off the iron. He had the right rotation. It goes through. I don't know if you could hit it any harder and have it go through, but an extra point counts for one. 14-6. That's the Montini lead. 9 seconds after the interception, this is what happens.
Yeah, it's the right tackle that is pulling Erickson in front of Flowers, and he does a good job of sealing that edge, and Flowers does the rest by bouncing it outside. And then, speak of bounce, Johnny Louise with a bounce of his own to make it 14-6 Montini.
Yeah, he thought he missed it completely, and he got that nice little bounces right. And how this game had turned. Rochester, after a short punt, and the ball at the 28-yard line of Montini, and after the interception return, all of a sudden Montini strikes in a hurry. Montini offense dominating yardage, 174-88 here with 5.5 to play in the first half, yet they only hold the 8-point lead. Now Rochester won the toss. They elected to receive in the first half, so Montini would get the ball first in the second half, and this goes to your 8-minute theory.
Yeah, you're approaching that middle 8, right? Who can control the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter? It's so crucial, and a lot of it hangs on who has possession to start that second half. Well, Rochester has already taken the option and given it to Montini as we see them fall on this football here. Fortunate that Rochester is able to maintain possession, but that means that you got to find points on this drive if you're Rochester, because with how fast they go, you know Montini's going to get another shot, if not 2 more shots here in this second quarter. So if you're Rochester, you're all of a sudden looking at a very, very critical drive early in this game.
Quarterback on this possession will be J.P. Leonard. Leonard, the junior quarterback. Big hole up the middle, Caden Stout. Stout being chased from behind. He'll be brought down, enough for a big gain from Caden Stout. Down to the 25-yard line it goes for 44 yards.
Nice to see Rochester get Stout going after the interception. That's the way you calm your offense down, is you give it to your all-state tailback and you watch him make a huge play.
Motion from Gregory. Up the middle again. This time it's Tabag. Everett Tabag. The sophomore came up halfway through the season. And he has his team at the 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
Countered by Rochester. Good kick-out block there by Wesley Sheridan. And then the fullback comes up and makes the play, and then they punch it into the end zone on the next one.
Tabag the man again. 4-yard touchdown run. He has been money. Took 23 seconds after the touchdown run by Flowers that Rochester puts points on the board. Now they trail by 2. Here's Ephraim Tabag.
Just right up the gut against this Montini defense. What an impressive 3 plays there by Rochester.
Tabag, the tailback. Leonard. Down he goes. No fooling Santino Tenuta. He's one of the men on the staff, number 32. Tenuta, a wrestler, 2nd in the state at 165 last year. Tenuta, the leading tackler, and that time a tackle for loss, and denies Rochester the 2-point conversion.
He's one of the best linebackers in the state. Really impressed with his film. Tenuta jumps out when you watch him play for this Montini team. And Rochester, a team known for moving the ball quickly, in particular through the air. That time, on that drive, does it on 3 plays, all on the ground to score quickly.
Big one, 44-yard run by Caden Stout on the first play of that series. What a huge score for Rochester. We still have 5:04 to play here in the 2nd quarter. Deep for Montini, Luca Florio, Damasio Ortegon. Doing the kicking will be Carson Berberet. Berberet, soccer player. In fact, he missed the first round game because Rochester's soccer team won the sectional on the same day. Actually, this will be Cody Strawn that will be kicking off. So Cody Strawn handles the kickoffs. It's Berberet with the place kicking. So here's Strawn. Will come down to 16-yard line. No room up the middle. One of the men on the stop was Reese Gade, number 5 for the Rockets.
A lot of energy on that Rochester sideline and in the Rochester stands right now. Quick scoring drive by Montini on the last possession. They've had a lot of success running the football. They haven't run it much, but when they have, it's been pretty good. They got 50 yards on the ground. They're averaging good number, about 8 yards a carry.
Abrams today at quarterback, 9 of 14 for 125 yards. Plenty of time to work with. 3 timeouts remaining for Montini. Only 1 for Rochester. To the left side in Ortegon. Ortegon gets there in a hurry. That's a quick first down for the Broncos.
A really good job there by Montini and Ortegon to use their speed, get to the edge, turn the corner, and get the first down. That's some hard outside running there by the Broncos.
Ortegon scoots for 14 yards.
The wide receivers leading the way there for Montini.
Abrams, double clutch. What a catch. On a 20-degree night, a snag from Oregon. That ball had some zip on it. Oregon just pulls it out of the air.
What a grab by Oregon. You see there on the replay. That's a really tough catch to make in any conditions, but tonight in a state championship game with how cold it is, that's impressive.
Off left tackle. Pickup of about 4.
That same run concept. Alexander this time with the carry, pushes forward, gets a couple of yards.
Player down for Montini right there at the end of the play. Is that it? So you have Alexander, you have Charles Flowers. 2 different styles of running. You saw Flowers with the burst, the touchdown run. Alexander more of the power runner, though, as we said, he'll line up in a receiver spot. They're taking a look at him now right there at about the 40-yard line.
He was grabbing his ankle early after he went down. It's good to see that he is getting back up. He's going to need some help getting off the field. We'll have to see if we can get a report on if he'll come back into the game or not. We'll keep an eye on that, but Montini's got quite a few options they could go to. You'll see Flowers at tailback a lot. Might see a couple of other wide receivers get the ball a little bit more in this situation. They can spread it around quite a bit.
You see Charlie Bliss, the offensive coordinator for Montini. If that name sounds familiar, longtime offensive coordinator at Maine South. He is at Montini right now. Flowers will get that first call. Short pickup. He'll be short of the first down. Flowers 5'8", 185.
That's one of those calls when your all-stater goes down, you're just trying to get that guy into the flow of the game as quickly as you can, right? You try and hand it to Flowers inside the tackle. See if you can get him a couple of yards, get him loose. He's going to take a majority of the snaps now at tailback, but Montini can spread out and go 5 wide if they need to.
They need 2 yards on third down, 0 for 3 here today, and they've got more with Abrams. Abrams was not touched until he was tackled at the 22-yard line. Remember, just a junior, Izzy Abrams, 14 yards on that run.
A nice keeper there by the quarterback. Got good speed, knows how to use it. He's one missed tackle away from taking that thing to the house.
Flowers will get the call again. Can he get to the outside? He does. Flowers able to turn that corner in a hurry. A slight hesitation step and then acceleration.
I think that was Beal that he made miss in the backfield. Turned what was going to be a 2-yard loss into a 5-yard gain. Watch the quick little stutter step right here.
I think I did.
Get to the edge. Get out of bounds. Nice job there by Flowers. Unity starting to find a little bit of rhythm in their run game.
We're under 3 minutes to play. 8th play of the drive. Coming up. Abrams quickly on the slant. Not the most accurate of throws, but a great catch.
That's Johnny Newstad. Yeah, Johnny Newstad, who came into the game when Alexander went out. Really great snag. Coach Bukowski was coming down the sideline there thinking about calling a timeout, regrouping his offense, and instead it's a strike and another first down for Montini.
First and goal.
Top 100.
Hand off to Flowers, able to jitterbug his way through. Parker Seifer, number 41, was able to slow him down.
Going to see a lot of man coverage down here near the goal line for Rochester. The question becomes, if you're Montini, when do you take a shot one-on-one with one of your talented wide receivers? Is it Florio, who's going to be at the top of your screen? He's matched up against Gregory, the senior. Montini's going to, I think, take a little more time to think about this one.
Yeah, Mike Pekovsky walked all the way down to the 10-yard line just so we can make sure you got that timeout. It comes with 1:46 to play here in the first half. Reminder at halftime. Let's go to our studios in Chicago. Lauren Withrow and Edgy Tim O'Halloran will catch you up. They'll catch you up on the news of the day. The big news of the day, yes, we've had 4 championship games. The other one is this. These
Let's
games
go,
are scheduled to play
Franny.
tomorrow here at Hancock Stadium.
Let's go,
They've all been
Franny.
postponed due to the impending weather moving in. Providence Catholic and St. Francis, East St. Louis Fenwick. Then there's 7 and 8 championship ball games. Brother Rice St. Rita, Oswego Mount Carmel. Those games will be played. Keep an eye on the IHSA website. Check out your feeds for time and location of those games. We don't know that we will get that news as to when tonight. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. A lot of moving pieces going on with trying to make those arrangements. It's been a strange day here in Normal.
It really has. I mean, before we even came on in the 3A game, word was coming out that they were going to suspend those or postpone those games for tomorrow, and shocked that for the first time in state history, we're going to not play all 8 on back-to-back days. So the IHSA doing their best to try and figure out the best solution for everybody as we take a look at Abrams' stats here in the first half. Montini's been really balanced.
Nothing there for Abrams to his left. Unless he wants to run, he finds his man in the corner of the end zone. Nico Castaldo. Patience from Abrams results in 6. Castaldo just snuck back in that corner, and Abrams, great vision, found him.
Take a look. He steps up in the pocket, moves, and then just flips it to the back of the end zone. What a job there by Montini's quarterback, keeping the play alive and finding the right man in the back of the end zone.
You can see why Abrams, one of the most highly recruited quarterbacks in the nation. The extra point that time is clean, and the lead goes to 21-12. One of the reasons why I mentioned is his vision, his arm, his quickness. The thing that impresses me about Abrams is, I'll call it escapability, but he goes backwards as fast as anybody I've seen. He sees pressure in the front, takes that step back, and then he's around the corner.
Well, he's incredibly competitive too, I think. You can tell he wants to win. He cares about it. He plays the game with passion and a flair that you don't see very often from high school kids, and he's got the talent and the ability to back it up for sure.
Abrams 3 for 3 passing on that drive. 9-play drive, 73 yards, 316. Here's what happened earlier today. Seems like a long time ago. 10 a.m. first kick, and that was Lena Winslow winning yet another state championship, 58-13 over Brown.
Hey, that Unity Byron game was insane, bro.
As did Wilmington in 2A to pick up another state title, the 42-6.
Like the wildest second half I've seen in a long
games
time.
that people are going to be talking about for a long time. Your 3A championship game, Byron holds on 56-50. I believe there at the end of the game.
Oh, make a fucking play, man.
30 plays without Byron taking a snap. Kelowna Unity took advantage of an onside kick, brought it all the way down inside the 20-yard line, and could not complete the entire comeback. And of course, our game here is our final one of the day, our final one of this weekend. And it will be Rochester now that will look to make something happen on this kickoff. It will not happen up the middle. It gets to about the 28-yard line, only 93 seconds to play in the first half. Rochester with just one timeout remaining in this half as well.
Did you say only 93 seconds?
I did say
I think that's enough time for Rochester.
It is.
I don't think you can say only 93 seconds when Rochester's got the football.
They have 93 seconds to work with, yes.
That might be time for them to score 3 times before this half is over.
You know, when you look this year, Rochester's averaged 48 points per game. So if you see that 12 on the scoreboard here at halftime, you know Montini has done a job.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the way Montini's played, especially their linebackers today. They've done a really good job of hemming up Rochester.
The screen out here to Gregory. Cordell Gregory, who was injured in week 2, came back in round 2. He's been used very effectively here through the playoffs. We said Cordell, a sophomore, he along with Cornell are twins. Corbin is the senior. They fake the handoff to Stout. Come here to the near side. Get about 3 yards. On second down, and is that enough? It is. Good enough for a first down.
We'll remind you again that Montini's going to get the ball to start the second half, so this is a huge drive for Rochester.
Beal in the pocket to Stout, trying to get him in the open field. He only gets about 2 yards on the play. Caden Stout's a game breaker.
Rochester likes to go fast, but they're trying to change personnel before this second down snap, taking a lot of time off the clock.
Beal looks, and did he get his hands underneath it? No, they did not. Eli Cox could not come up with it.
That was the reason they changed personnel, because it was Cox that ran onto the field, and he was wide open on this throw. Beal tries to make the throw on the run. If he sets his feet, he might get a little more on it and hits Cox in stride for what could be a huge play, if not a touchdown.
Rochester 2 of 7 on third downs here in the first half. They're looking for 8 yards here. The screen to Swaney, and that ends in a hurry. Nate Swaney with the reception. It was fourth down, the clock running.
It was Johnny Louise who had it sniffed out for Rochester, or excuse me, for Montini. Nice job there, running down the line of scrimmage. If I'm Rochester, I might take this thing all the way to the half. I wouldn't want to put the ball in jeopardy one more time here.
We're down to 4 seconds, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Nope, we'll get one more play. Beal's going to go for it all. Up in the air, and out of bounds. It will not matter. Clock goes to 0-0-0 here in the first half.
Rochester's lucky that he was out of bounds on that, because, I mean, he had a little bit of room down the sideline and a couple of blockers in front of him. I mean, if Elijah Stevens comes up with that football, who knows what happens right before the half here.
We have traded touchdowns here in this ball game. Montini scoring first on a 33-yard reception by Luco Florio from Abrams, and Everin Tabag on an 11-yard run. Charles Flowers 31 yards out. Tabag matches that with a 3-yard run. And then Nico Castaldo on a 4-yard touchdown reception. Extra points, a little bit of the difference. It's a 9-point lead, and let's go down to Kalia Butler, and she is standing by with Mike Bukowski.
Coach, it was pretty close to start now of 21-12. How do you continue to pull away in this one?
Well, you know, we just got to execute. We've made too many mistakes. We've been sloppy. They're a well-coached team, so they did a great job of taking advantage of some things. So really, to us, it's a 0-0 game. We got to come out in the second half, and we got to take control and do what we can do, and we got to do it better.
Izzy Abrams strong in the quarterback position. What would you like to see from him in the second half?
Well, kind of more of the same. You know, we just got to get, I like when we get the ball out quick. We're doing a really good job with that. I'd like to see that continue. Our running game got going a little bit there, too. We got to really, I think, expound on those two things in the second half.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
So one half complete in your 4A championship ball game. The defense for Montini doing the job, only allowing a couple scores. Montini while getting 3 of their own. We're at the half. Stick around. We're going to head to our studios in Chicago. Lauren Withrow. They get it.
Read it into a wide receiver.
Lining up, ready to go is Cody Strong. He's ready. We're ready. Second half underway. Nice kick back to the 5-yard line. Demasio Ortegon with it. Oh, he full speed ahead. He is stopped just after he passes the 20-yard line.
He hits that thing with a ton of speed, doesn't he? I mean, no fear into the teeth of that kickoff coverage for Rochester. A really nice job there by Rochester to keep him inside the 25-yard line. Give Montini a long field to start the third quarter. If you remember, Montini's all-state tailback, Alexander, went out of the game in the second quarter with what appeared to be an ankle injury. I don't see him on the field to start the third quarter here, so it'll be Flowers in the backfield next to Izzy Abrams.
You know, coming into this game in terms of yardage, Flowers had actually outgained Alexander on the ground. Alexander picked up a ton of his yards receiving, but it's Flowers in there right now. Abrams going to go deep early here. Catch is made in midfield. Now the race down the left sideline. Staying on his feet, touchdown. Play number 1 in the second half. Goes for 79 yards from Abrams to Luca Florio. How about that? Laid out beautifully for Florio. Here it is.
What a throw by Abrams. What a catch by Florio. And nobody from Rochester can catch him. What a start for Montini in this third quarter. All the air out of the sideline on the Rochester side, and all the momentum swings to the Broncos.
That ball could not have been thrown any better. Extra point is good, and it's a 28-12 lead.
We mentioned it quite a few times in the semifinal game that we did, Dave, between Montini and Morris. Izzy Abrams has every throw in the book that you can make. We've seen him a couple of different times threaded into a wide receiver on a really quick slant route. We've seen him throw on the run with some touch to the back corner of the end zone. And that time he airs it out to Florio, who can outrun just about anybody on a football field. And that time he outruns 11 Rochester Rockets to find the end zone.
That was the 4th catch of the day for Florio. 130 yards, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. Rochester won the coin flip before the game. They took the ball on offense to start. That means Montini got it here to start the second half. And wham, a quick 7. Now the Rockets to be playing from behind. Biggest margin of the day.
A 2-score swing in the last about 6 minutes of game time. This was a 14-12 game when Montini got the ball with about 5.5 minutes to go in that second quarter. And now, if you're Rochester, you're chasing points really early here in the third.
Gain out to the 32-yard line. Before that offense takes the field, let's go down and check in with Kalia Butler.
Is this off cam? I spoke with Coach Leonard at the half about the adjustments he's looking to make. He said he wants this team to keep playing fast, and to catch the football were the main 2 adjustments he was looking for. He said he didn't necessarily love their start offensively, did like the defense that they had, but they want to continue to slow down Izzy Abrams. Need to put more pressure on him. They did so earlier in the game, let up a little bit, but said they need to keep putting pressure in the pocket. Dave?
Right, Kalia, and that did not happen on that first play, and there's a catch. Nice grab by Nate Swaney. So one of the 2 things that Derek told Kalia have come to pass: catch the football. The other one is Abrams actually in that touchdown pass did not give a chance for Rochester to put pressure on him. That completion there to Swaney goes for 23 yards. Big hole up the middle now for Stout. Caden Stout spinning down to the 22-yard line. He may have gone farther, but an ankle tackle from Peyton Nelson.
Rochester is trying to go a little faster than they were in the first quarter or first half, Dave, is they kept checking to the sideline for play calls. Now they're just lining up and they're going right away.
Looking to get to the outside, a little stiff arm from Stout, but he is run out of bounds. Short pickup on the play.
He said he a dog.
On that tackle, nice job by stretching it all the way to the sideline by the corner there, and then coming up with the shoestring tackle.
46 yards on the first 2 plays of this possession for Rochester. That's after a 79-yard one-play drive for Montini. Chunk plays here in the third quarter. J.P. Leonard will come back to the near side to Stout. He's got 2 blockers in front. Stout runs over his own man to get inside the 4-yard line. And number 40, Everett Tabak, is into the ball game. He's lining up the tailback spot.
And he has to take Stout's place because Tenuta just tattoos Stout on that last play. Rochester going to the line quickly.
Tabak gets the carry. Does not find the end zone on that one.
He's been their goal line specialty back last couple of weeks. I think you keep handing it to him here.
They get it again. Gets a little closer. He's up big defensively.
That's not the game that Rochester wants to play, is getting Leonard on the outside, overmatched, against these Montini linebackers. I think they were trying to use Tabag there as the decoy, and it didn't work. Montini sniffs that one out. They're all over it. They're in the exact same formation now, but you have to think on 4th and goal from the 5, they're going to put the ball in the air this time.
The Rockets will take a timeout. 3 minutes into the third quarter.
Rochester.
You say, well, you only get 3.5. If things go wrong on this play, and it isn't the way you exactly want it, you're in trouble. Instead, we come back. Rochester will have it 4th and goal.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Attention building and facility managers. Did you know mechanical insulation around a building's heating and cooling system is a vital resource? Insulation protects from energy loss, physical damage, and pays for itself quickly. For more than 125 years, the contractors of Heat and Frost Insulators have helped build healthier, greener, and more efficient facilities. Hire the best. Scan the QR code for a list of contractors with the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17 or visit us at local17insulators.com.
Kind of an awkward spot right now for Derek Leonard in terms of the position on the field. What sort of play are we looking at here?
I think you got to put the ball in the air. You had your chance to run it in. You'd given it to Tabak twice in a row, and then you choose Leonard on the keeper on 3rd down. Makes it 4th and goal from the 5.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
I know they're in the running formation, but let's see what they do.
Shit.
Tanner Beal with it, and he is stopped. Beal faked the handoff, kept it, no gain on the play, and Montini turns away Rochester. It was a 1st and goal from the 4. Denied. Tabag was leading the way, but Beal never was able to follow him.
Yeah, and if you see there, Tabag actually had a lane if he would have handed it off. I don't know if it was any sort of quarterback option there, but give Montini a ton of credit on making a huge goal line stand to get the ball back. That feels like this game's going to start to slip away from Rochester pretty quickly if they can't get a stop of their own here.
Give credit to Santino Tenuta for that tackle on Beal. Will go on the ground, and it will be Abrams. Such quick feet. A 6'4" junior.
There's a couple of really nice runs in this game.
He's about as smooth a quarterback as you would want to see. Enough for a first down for the Broncos. Whether it be his throwing, his running, just kind of glides.
Yeah, you mentioned his recruiting prowess. He's got a lot of colleges looking for him, and I tell you what, it's because he checks every single box that you would want out of a quarterback.
Nice pickup on first down. So again, that's Charles Flowers, and I don't know that we'll see Isaac Alexander after what appeared to be an ankle injury.
Yeah, it's tough to see on the sideline there across the field for Montini if there is Alexander's over there or not, but I've been impressed with the way that Flowers has run the ball as well.
He'll get it again. Smaller frame angle his way through. And another first down as Montini Catholic working out from the 5-yard line.
3 straight run plays to start this drive for Montini. First time we've seen him run the ball 3 times in a row. They have been pretty balanced throughout this game. You have to wonder if they're going to just try and chew a little bit more clock by handing the ball off a couple more times on this drive. Or letting Abrams do that.
There he goes. Across the 40-yard line. That will be enough for another first down. Well, if Montini can do that, it could be a long second half here for Rochester.
Yeah, why hand it off when you can just have Abrams take it himself? A couple of those big offensive linemen leading the way for him.
How about the balance? 16 runs, 18 passes tonight for Montini. You just feel like there's a big one coming here, though. 3 receivers to the right. Florio Castaldo. Instead, it'll be Abrams looking left. And
oh, fuck.
It's out of bounds.
I'm trying to get outside.
It will be second down. Tanner Beal on the coverage of Damasio Ortegon.
Abrams tried to put it on him on the sideline. Just out of reach for Ortegon. See here, good job sitting in the pocket, waiting for Ortegon to come out of the break. He puts it on him, it's a first down. Great effort by the wide receiver to try and get his toes in. Just couldn't come up with the ball.
The timeout will be called by Montini.
Timeout. Montini.
Yeah, miscommunication by
Catch
Montini.
the fucking ball, man. Just catch the ball. Fuck you. Catch the ball.
Flying down the sideline, headset off, screaming for the timeout.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. So you see the back of his, white jacket. When I first glanced at that in the pregame, I thought he had a jacket on backwards that said XL.
Yeah, that 7X is not the size. That 7X is not the size, Coach. You said he's a wrestling Hall of Famer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I do want it on the record that it is not the size of his shirt. If Coach Bukowski listens to this replay, Coach, I'm sticking up for you. That's not the size he wears. That's the number of state titles that Montini's won. Coach is a large, he's a slim man, he's good looking.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody else says.
That's Chris Highland.
I'm not having Coach Bukowski, an Hall of Fame wrestler, coming after me, saying he's wearing a 7XL. No, thank you.
Here's Abrams over the middle, taking a hit by Beal. But a first down completion across midfield, and that's a big stick on Nico Castaldo.
Yeah, he came up a little gingerly. Just look at the arm strength. Look at the way he fits a ball in there. Nice job, Izzy Abrams. And you got to give Montini a lot of credit, because they've had a number of different wide receivers come up big for them so far in this game already.
5 different men have caught the ball for the Broncos. Flowers trying to pick a hole. I would say about 7 white jerseys got a hand on Charles Flowers there.
Yeah, that's a crucial first down stop if you're Rochester. Isaac Hardaz coming down from his defensive back position to make that play. You can tell that Montini wants to try and establish the run a little bit more here in the second half. And to prevent them from that, you got to make sure that you get early first down stops, and they did it right there.
This is the 8th play of the drive that started at the 5-yard line. Abrams wide open. Catch made by Oregon. He'll just prance on in. And another big score. 52 yards from Abrams to Oregon.
Oregon on the flag route comes wide open. What a throw, what a catch. And Montini has broken this game wide open on a really good throw by Izzy Abrams from all the way across the field to hit the wide receiver in stride. Man, give Montini a lot of credit. It was a close game near the end of the second quarter, and they have opened it wide up.
They do not get the extra point, but a 79-yard touchdown pass followed by a 52-yard touchdown pass has taken our score to 34-12. The Broncos looking to go back-to-back in state titles in 2 different
Happy
classes.
Sunday.
Every great team starts with trust. The kind of trust that builds over time. For 50 years, Country Financial has teamed up with IHSA in our communities. And for 100 years, we've protected you with insurance that does more. From the best times to the tough ones, a great team's got your back when it matters most. Thanks for your trust for 100 years. Here's to 100 more. Country Financial. Experience more.
Contest, much championship game last year.
Yeah, they took command of that one very early. It has taken them a little longer to take command of this one, but as we sit here in the third quarter, Montini has opened up a 34-12 lead over Rochester as they look to go back-to-back.
Here's how they've done it tonight. A touchdown on the opening possession, then 3 punts. The last 4 times the Broncos have had the ball, they've found the end zone, hence a 34-12 lead over Rochester.
Montini looking for their 24th straight win. What an impressive group this is. A really tough schedule through the regular season. Taking care of business so far in the playoffs. They now have full command of this 4A state title game.
A little bit of a roll there, and picking it up, not getting much, was Macklin Nelson. You know, you talk about the tough schedule, playing in the Chicago Catholic League, East Suburban Catholic Conference, and Mike Bukowski admits, oh yeah, well that toughened us up. He said, I wasn't such a big fan of it a few years ago, because a few years ago, Montini, in fact, specifically, Montini finished 3-6 and 3-6. Those are the 2 years following the COVID year, 21, 22, and then went 9-4. Got all the way to the semifinals in 23 before winning it all last year. So a little bit of growing pains here. Looking for a block, and they'll get a block. And into Montini territory. Rolling forward is Jory Myron. Myron, one of the players that'll go both ways for the Rockets. Myron, a fullback, leads the way for Everin Tabag. That time he gets 19. And this play is held up. And Derek Leonard is not happy. Comes out on the field and has a few words with one of his players.
12 right, lined up offside, 5-yard penalty, first down.
that's what will get the ire of a coach.
Yeah, before the play even starts, you can't be successful if you can't line up right. Too many men in the backfield for Rochester. They run so many different formations. It's got to be hard for these kids to know who's on, who's off the line of scrimmage, but it's the little details are what make you great.
Now some confusion again as Beal is directing Stanton. This is a young team.
How the fuck do we not get in the fucking
Leonard
end
has said,
zone?
every game we see evidence of that youth and inexperience. I don't think this play was exactly what was drawn up.
No, a couple of different options there. The quick slant route, and then possibly if the slant route doesn't work out, he had a bubble screen to that low side that Beal was looking for. Neither of them transpired, so he ends up having to run it. They've got 12 men on the field.
And Montini takes timeout now. On the other side, Mike Bukowski not happy with his players.
Montini. That's something you can't do in the middle of a possession against Rochester. You cannot substitute. And they just tried to run a defensive tackle onto the field there late. Angelo DeSense tried to come onto the field on second, what looks like maybe second and 16. Got caught in the middle. They were about to snap it, and Montini's fortunate that they were able to get a timeout there.
Well, you made that point, right? You cannot substitute against Rochester.
Not with how fast they're going, no. You got to stick with the personnel that you got on the field. The only time you can even think about substituting is maybe when you watch them substitute. So your coaching staff, your backups, everybody's got to be on the same page on that sideline, and you all have to be locked into the game to make sure that you make the right calls and the right substitutions at the right times. That time, Montini didn't do it.
Teams have used some timeouts here. They didn't want to burn here in the second half. Montini, just one timeout remaining. Rochester has two. Finally, they're set, ready to go. Stout will get it. Blockers in front of him. To the corner. Stout shaped swan tackler. Probably haven't heard Stout's name as much as we may have expected coming into this game. All-Stater.
And he's got some speed. He's got 1,100 yards
Good
on
shit. Good dub, bro.
the year. When he gets to the corner, he can turn it pretty well. Did a nice job there to get it into a 3rd and short for Rochester.
It's a 45-yard run tonight. That ball batted up and picked off. The deflection leads to the interception. And a penalty flag at the end of the play. A little bit of a tussle there among a couple of players. But the interception will go to Johnny Louise.
And it was the all-state linebacker, Tenuta, who tipped the ball as he brought pressure against Beal.
12 right. That's going to be 15 yards and a first down.
Well, that goes against Rochester. Here's the deflection by Tenuta. Oh, he got up there to get that one.
And it was Johnny Louise who tipped it up to himself. So the second interception on the night for Rochester gives Montini great field position after the penalty. The Broncos in full control of this one.
I went Buffalo. That's my first time going Buffalo.
So with the 34-12 lead after this interception, do you
I don't even know
try to
what
go
these
put the
players got
clincher
in.
on here?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. Montini's known for taking shots after change of possession. Sudden change. Got to anticipate that Abrams is going to go deep on this play.
He's going to keep it. Nice tackle by Beal.
Montini going a little more conservative on the very first play of the drive. Take a little more clock. Got to understand at this point in the game that the clock's your friend. We'll try and keep that ball away from Rochester as much as possible with how lethal their offense is. And we talked a lot about it, how many points Rochester can put on the board. I mean, you got to give this Montini defense a ton of credit. To hold the Rochester team to only 12 points through 2.5 quarters is huge.
To the left side, stepping in front of the pass. Intercepted and brought down quickly. However, Corbin Gregory will pick off Abrams.
Abrams just a second slow
The
on his
icy
read.
white
Had he
Chargers.
seen that? Let the ball go right now. If the ball is gone a half a second earlier, it's a huge play to Ortegon. Instead, he holds on to it just a little too long, and the DB, Gregory, is able to recover and make a play. It was a screen and go. They were trying to fake the quick screen and throw the ball deep to one of two wide receivers who were sprinting down the sideline. Abrams holds on to it just a half a second too long, and Rochester gets the ball back quickly.
Nothing doing. Leonard to keep it. He'll go sliding down. Rochester fans thought there was some unnecessary contact there.
That was Peyton Nelson coming up from his safety position. You can see there, tries to hold up a little bit as Leonard goes down and slides. They're quickly back on the ball.
The Bog in the middle of the line. It will get just outside the 40-yard line. Short pickup. It'll be a third down and long. 3:25 to play in the third quarter. A couple of touchdowns here in this quarter by Montini. Coming to the near side, short side of the field. Not much room here, and out of bounds on the carry. It was Cordell Gregory.
It might have actually been stopped for a loss of 1. Fourth down.
We'll be looking for 4 yards.
Could be pump formation, could be them going for it. I have to imagine they're going to try and go for it here.
Yes, they do. They'll get it to Gregory. Cordell Gregory for the first down.
That's a really nice strike thrown there by Leonard. Just past the sticks, and a good job by Gregory to hold on to it when he knows that the contact is coming. Elijah Stevens, the corner right there to make the tackle.
Straight up the middle to Stout. Very rudely brought back. Tenuto. He has been all over the field today. Santonio Tenuto.
He is earning that All-State honor right here in this game. Really impressive the way that he plays that Mike linebacker position.
Listed at 180 pounds in the football program. Last year he finished second in the state wrestling at 165. And he'll trade in pants for headgear here next week. Leonard over the middle, just a little bit behind Swaney.
Third time that Rochester's run that quick vertical seam route. They were able to connect on it earlier in this quarter for a big play. That time, ball just out of the reach of Swaney there.
Third down and 9. This drive taking a while here for the Rockets. Leonard somehow snuck that ball through there. Swaney with it. He's got a full head of steam. Swaney inside the 15-yard line. Not sure who that was that actually almost overran that ball for Montini, but that would have been full speed the other way. Here comes Swaney right at you.
Yeah, with a couple of lead blockers in front of him, too. Nice job by the offensive lineman and the fullback getting down in front of him as we see them go straight ahead.
Tabag. He's in. Evren Tabag. 11-yard touchdown run. That came after a 40-yard plus completion. So Rochester gets on the board here with a minute 17 to play in the third quarter. Cuts it to a 34-18 lead, a 2-touchdown difference.
They can score in a hurry. And this is how Rochester beats you. They get up to the line of scrimmage. They know what they want to do. They run the play before you're ready. Done it twice now. Really nice job of doing that. First time we've seen both quarterbacks in the game at the same time.
Leonard will get the snap. Jump pass over the middle. I believe he was going for Beal. So Beal was under center.
It ended up being Cox that he was going for. Yeah, you're right. They put Beal under center, and then they snap it under Beal's legs all the way back to Leonard. But there's no fooling Montini on that play. Jump pass just over the reach of Cox. Still just a 2-score game, though. 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions away is Rochester, but they need a few big stops on defense.
And a turnover here or there. Again, if you're just joining us, you say, well, how's this game going and what's up for tomorrow? Well, nothing's up for tomorrow. Illinois State University closed its campus for tomorrow with the impending weather that's coming in overnight. So the games, the 4 championship games scheduled for Saturday have been postponed. The IHSA is working on rescheduling those games next week at some point during the week. Time and place to be determined. See the numbers on sophomore Evren Tabag. 7.8 yards per carry here tonight. 3 touchdowns. How about that for somebody who's on the JV team earlier in the year?
Well, you mentioned how young this Rochester team is. They're going to be really good next year as well. So, Coach Leonard, like you said, maybe wasn't anticipating early in these guys' careers for this team to make it this far, but give them a ton of credit for exceeding expectations. And the longer that these seasons go, the more experience these young players get, the more practices they get during the playoffs, and the more games they can play only makes them better in the years to come.
Good kickoff down to about the 5-yard line. Coming in their side is Ortegon. He's not going to get there. Excellent coverage again from the Rochester special teams unit. Well, you talk about the extra practice time. Look what those 2 overtime games have done. If things go the opposite way in the quarterfinals and overtime, then that's 3 less weeks of practice you have. You don't get to play here on the big stage.
Yeah, I bet if we are doing a 3 or a 4A game next year, and we're talking to Coach Leonard, he's talking about the experience that this team got in the 2025 season and how that helps set them up for success next year.
Abrams, 290 yards passing tonight, 4 touchdowns. And that has become a typical game for him in the playoffs. Flowers able to stay on his feet to the 25. Nice run up the middle for Flowers, who's getting the action. 8-yard pickup on first down.
8 yards, second down, 2 to 25-yard line.
Running right behind that left guard, Hunter Mancioni there. Nice job by Flowers. We're going to go 5 wide on this play. 4 split out to the top of your screen.
Right into the hands. The interception by Swaney. Swaney angling into the end zone. And how about this? Pick 6. Nate Swaney. We have a game.
This is a very different ball game all of a sudden. The second drive in a row Montini has tried to go with a screen and go call. They fake the screen and try and go vertical. And it's the second drive in a row that Izzy Abrams has thrown an interception. This time right into the hands of Swaney, and he takes it all the way back for 6. Just a little bit of a different formation and a little bit of a different concept or style on the screen and go for Montini. The result's the same, though. It's an interception, except this time it costs him 6 points. And we're a 2-point conversion away from this being a 1-score ball game all of a sudden.
Beal is the quarterback. To the left side, there's your 2. Tabag just barrels his way in. Rochester, 14 points in the last 47 seconds, has made this a 36-24 game.
Unbelievable turn of events. If you're Montini, you're thinking about how you can put this game away with a nice long drive that extends deep into the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden now you're looking at a 1-score ball game. You're having to fight for your life for the next 12 minutes against a scrappy Rochester team that just won't go away.
They trail by 2 touchdowns against Breeze Central before winning in overtime in the semifinals. And you are right, they do not go away. An 8-point difference, 34-26, 40 seconds left. Well, the first half of this third quarter was all Montini. The last 47 seconds have been all Rockets.
And we were just talking about before Rochester's last offensive drive on how much credit we had to give Montini for holding them to just 12 points through 3 or 2.5, almost 3 full quarters. And now all of a sudden, 34-26 on the scoreboard. You talk about all the momentum in the building being on Rochester's side. Don't know if you can hear them at home, but those fans behind that Rochester bench are loud right now at Hancock Stadium.
Strawn's been able to boot this ball deep. He's going to try to find an open spot on the field, and that will stay in balance, and it's touched there. Montini will have to dig out of a hole.
The Broncos falling apart a little bit here. I don't know if that was Florio or if that was Ortegon, but he was anticipating that ball to take a bounce to the left and go out of bounds. It just doesn't happen. Sometimes you get weird bounces on this turf. But my goodness, a lot of momentum on the Rochester Rockets side all of a sudden.
Izzy Abrams bring his team out in the field. Interception. A touchdown for Rochester has brought the near side of the field to life. 2 touchdown passes for Abrams in this quarter. Flowers on the ground, flag down behind the play. Well, we have seen this from Montini here tonight. Let's get the call first.
59 red. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Montini has kind of had these ebbs and flows tonight of whether it be losing concentration or just a sequence of events that have kind of gone against them.
I don't know which one you call this, an ebb or a flow, but they're definitely in one of them. I mean, they need to get out of this as quickly as they can. Alexander is back in the game.
No timeouts.
Isaac Alexander, where I saw him, he's limping around. You can see him coming to the bottom of your screen a little bit. Definitely not 100%, but he's back in the game for Montini.
Fuck.
The stabilizing force. Abrams dancing in the end zone. Too much. Well, that shows you the arm strength right there of Abrams.
Yeah, I mean, to throw that all the way across the field like that, I mean, that's got to be a 50-yard throw that he just threw through the air. Go back to Isaac Alexander. We saw him limp out of the locker room about halfway through this quarter. And it was just as Montini was going up 34-12 on that pass to Ortegon that I saw him limp out. And I thought to myself, well, it's nice that he's on the sideline, but I don't know if Montini's going to need him. They definitely need him now because they are in a dogfight with Rochester.
Abrams to keep. Abrams in trouble. Has this game turned momentum-wise here as we wind down the third quarter? Well, get set. Fourth quarter coming up. 34-26. A one-score game in your 4A championship game. Fourth quarter comes up next.
The IHSA Football State Finals is brought to you in part by Ashley. Style begins at home. IBEW Local 134. Building careers, building the future. Chicagoland Roofing Council. Chicagoland's best value, best roofs all year long. Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17. Go green with Local 17.
Ashley's Black Friday is finally here. For one day only, shop this doorbuster sofa, now just $2.99. Or take 30% off your entire purchase. Plus, free white glove delivery. Doors are open from 7 a.m. to midnight. Don't miss Black Friday at Ashley.
When Chicago's most critical infrastructure needs power, they don't just call any electrician. They call IBEW Local 134. From the city's tallest towers to its most advanced data centers, the projects that matter most trust only IBEW Local 134. Because powering Chicago isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people, safety, innovation, and the future of our city. We are the men and women of IBEW Local 134. We power Chicago with electrical excellence.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Ashley's biggest sale of the year gets even better this weekend. Now through Monday, shop Doorbuster starting at just $1.99 or get 0% interest for 60 months with no money down. Plus, our price match guarantee means you'll always get the best deal. Don't miss Black Friday weekend at your local Ashley.
Time now for our Menards play of the game here through three quarters. Save big money on all your home improvement needs with Menards. And this is how we started this third quarter. 79 yards from Abrams to Florio. And that's how this quarter started. That's when Montini, he added another touchdown, 52-yard touchdown pass later, and complete control until, Chris, last couple minutes.
I mean, just about the last 2.5 minutes. You're right, Dave. You said it exactly right. That was the moment that you thought that Montini was taking complete control of this game, and all of a sudden, if you're listening right now, I mean, Rochester's got all the momentum in this building as they've got Montini backed up well into their own territory on a third and very, very long. Let's see if they can create more magic on the first play of this quarter.
Montini needs to get to the 25-yard line. Big, big plays. We open up the fourth. Abrams stepping up over the middle. Has Ortegon. Good for a first down and more. All the way up to the 38-yard line.
I mean, Izzy Abrams is an absolute magician. I mean, look at this. He is dead to rights in the end zone. Wesley Sheridan has him right in his crosshairs, and he just can't bring the junior down. He steps up and throws a strike to Ortegon, and just like that, Montini is back in business.
32-yard completion on third down and 19. And a fresh set of downs. Flowers, the inside handoff. Flowers will get about 5 on first down. And did that quarter break come at the right time for the Broncos?
They were able to get to the sideline, collect themselves, settle down. I like that first down run there by Flowers. Gives everybody a chance to reset. Second and manageable. They've run Izzy Abrams a couple of times out of this empty set. Let's see if they choose to do it again.
Ooh, nearly snap hitting Flowers. And Abrams goes down. Rochester said there was a fumble. I don't know if they're going to get the call. No, they're going to say he was down.
I think that's the right call. Miscommunication on the timing of the snap forced Abrams to run that ball, and I don't think he wanted to run it that way. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like maybe that left knee's down. I don't know. Tough to see there on that angle. Either way, it's going to be third down and long for Montini.
Montini 2 of 5 on third downs. This is the exact situation they were in moments ago when they converted on a 3rd and 19. Here they have a 3rd down and 8. Timeout is called by Montini. Here's another look at that play. Well. Let's take a timeout ourselves. 10:09 to play. 34-26. Your 4A championship game. It's a beauty.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
It's Menards Black Friday sale. Get everything you need to bring home the holidays. From the tastiest sweet treats for your family.
All right, I got to score
perfect
quick.
Presents for playing with your pets. And toys under the tree for the kids. To tools and accessories for any project. Plus huge savings on new appliances. Menards has great gifts for everyone in your family. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals won't last long.
Head coach Mike McCoskey just used his team's final timeout here. Comes with 10:09 to play in the 4th quarter. Big play. If you thought that 3rd and 19 play was big, how about 3rd down and 8 here? Ball at the 40-yard line. Abrams has Flowers alongside.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of pressure from Rochester on this play.
They're going to bring 4. Here comes the 5th. Abrams, deep right side. Leaping attempt. And did he make it? Oh, my goodness. What an unbelievable catch from Damasio Ortegon.
Whoa! Rochester did decide to bring pressure. They brought the corner blitz, and Izzy Abrams does a good job of reading that pressure and throwing it up to one of his best wide receivers, one-on-one with Nate Swaney, and Ortegon makes a tremendous play, the latest in a bunch of unbelievable plays in this 4A game.
37 yards on 3rd down and 8.
That's what it's going to take to win the chip.
Flowers.
Yeah, tote that motherfucker. Tote that motherfucker.
Charles Flowers, after a crucial 3rd down conversion, goes for 24 in the score. Three straight plays have flipped this game, the momentum of this game. the fumble, no fumble, the 3rd down and 8 completion for 30-plus yards, and a 24-yard touchdown run, giving Montini the 40-26 lead. Johnny Louise for the extra point. And that one is no good. Oh my, we're still at a 14-point difference. That 4th quarter touchdown by Charles Flowers was brought to you by SIU Carbondale. Say yes to SIU.
That's the 2nd time that Flowers has been able to shake Tanner Beal in the secondary for Rochester. That time he goes for 6. What an impressive catch there by Ortegon, getting love from all of his teammates on the sideline. That set up the big score by Flowers. And you mentioned it, Dave. Rochester had Montini on the ropes, but the Broncos able to answer and again extended to a 14-point lead. The extra point being blocked. That's huge. That could come up big in this game. We saw something similar in the 3A game. A couple of 2-point conversions that failed for Byron gave Tolono Unity enough life in that game to make it close there at the end. 56-50. Byron ended up pulling it out, but could that missed extra point by Montini loom large later in this one?
Izzy Abrams, that completion to Ortegon. That was the 7th catch of the game for Masio Ortegon. 167 yards for the game. Abrams has completed 17 of 26 passes, 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. He has thrown a pick 6. Trade 4 touchdown passes for an interception. Rochester have to just fall in the ball. Montini very content. That's about the 3rd or 4th time tonight. But Rochester's just had to fall on it on a kickoff.
Coverage for kickoff for Rochester. Rockets drive starting for 39 yards.
Well, as energized as this crowd was for Rochester, what, 5-10 minutes ago, it is quiet right now.
I'm interested to see what the start of this drive looks like. Stout not out there for Rochester. They've been really balanced tonight. 171 through the air, 157 on the ground. But they are in a bit of a running formation. This cluster set now shifting to the right.
Here they come. Looking to cut it up. Some good positive yards from Corbin Gregory.
Yeah, so they line Gregory up in the backfield. That wildcat formation. End up using Beal as a lead blocker. Nice job there, and now Stout comes back onto the field. Got to stop the clock here still because they got to move the chains. It is a 1st down, so they'll move the chains, and Rochester will line back up, this time with Stout in the game. I like the way that they've been balanced. Let's see if they continue to run the ball, try and find those gaps in the middle of this one high defense.
Up the middle to Stout. This went for a big gain earlier. That's close to a 1st down.
Yeah, I like the formula. It's got to be close, right? Is it a 1st down? No.
Actually, back it up about a yard.
Okay. Yeah, I like the formula right now for Rochester.
Beal will just flip it out to Myron. Joey Myron bumped out of bounds. 1st down stops the clock.
On Rochester, I continue to stay with the game plan. Some of the screens, the inside run. Montini's still in that one high defense. That's their signature, that cover 3. So that middle seam is still open. Let's see if they can get one of those wide receivers into that seam again. There it is.
Overthrown to Swaney.
Ooh, you could see it coming. You could see it coming from the booth. Oh, man. Montini playing press coverage on that slot receiver, and just the single high safety help. All you got to do is beat that press coverage, and you hit that zone. Just out of the reach on that one.
Stanton gets a block. Takes a move.
And they're back to the screen game. So it's screens, inside run, and then those seams that they're trying to hit.
Player down for the Broncos.
For an injury.
It's like Blake Coleman, the freshman. You see number 44, Blake Coleman. Boy, has he been outstanding this season. Really has come on strong the second half of the season.
He went down hard. Didn't see what the injury was, but you hope that he's okay.
Coleman, 6'3", 215-pound freshman.
Both teams to the sideline able to catch their breath here as they'll take a long look at Pullman.
And both sides of this field have gone very quiet.
Good to see him get up. It's going to be a long walk to that Montini side. Can't put any weight on that left foot. Oh, man, you hate to see that. Guy's got a long, very good career in front of him. Let's hope that he's okay.
Tonight, Coleman 5 tackles, 2 for loss.
Second significant injury for Montini in this game. Isaac Alexander, their starting tailback, all-stater, went out early in the game. What appeared to be an ankle injury, and now we see Pullman gingerly headed to the sideline.
It comes with 8:16 to play here in the fourth quarter. Well, Rochester here, and it seems like, since about late in that first half, everything was a must-score here.
Look at that. If I score a touchdown, I could have kicked the field goal. Look at that.
Another case of that.
Fucking, just, fuck.
Tabag. Takes about 6 Broncos to stop him.
Just about 2 yards on that first down run, and a full substitution here by Rochester. First time we've seen him in this big formation. 4 tight ends in the game in front of Tabag.
Excellent tackle on the play. Getting the stop for Montini was Orlando Greco. Big third down here for Rochester at 3rd and 6.
They've got Gregory one-on-one at the top of the formation and top of your screen, just barely out of sight. Let's see if they go one-on-one against this press coverage.
Looking, flipping, end zone. Stanton, he's out of play. Drawing triple coverage, and now Stanton is down.
Yeah, he went down hard against the turf there. That turf is not soft.
There is no
right
give,
now.
No give today.
Yeah, he is laid out. I hope he okay.
Yeah, that's like hitting concrete.
Official timeout for an injury.
Oh, he's the back of his head.
2 key players just in the last few moments go down.
Yeah, that's something you hate to see. He's going to get up and he's going to be able to make his way to the sideline, but you're Rochester. You hate to see it. You just hope that he's okay, because a big 4th down is coming up for the Rockets. Unfortunately, Staunton's not going to be able to be out there for that one.
.705 left.
Decision time for Derek Leonard.
4th and 6. His quarterback is J.P. Leonard. He has Stout right alongside that right hip. And the decision is to take the timeout. So here's our situation with timeouts. 7 minutes left. Only 1 timeout remaining. Either of these teams, Montini out of them, Rochester will have 1 left. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This
Come on, gang.
is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through
Now we
trusted
down
guidance
2
and
games. We
expertise,
need to get to 50. Come on.
through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Generation Lead, empowering athletes, inspiring leaders. For more information, visit generationlead.org.
The IHSA Football State Finals are presented to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
The defensive play of the game is brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families. We've had a few interceptions tonight. This was like a double deflection. Johnny Louise will pick it off for our defensive play of the game. We also had a cleaner interception from Nate Swaney. He took it back for a touchdown. Mike Bukowski looking for a second state title in the last 2 years. 2-touchdown lead here with 7:05 left.
Big play coming up now, 4th down. You're Derek Leonard. What play call do you have? Got a lot of weapons out there. Who do you go to? Go to your all-state tailback on a 4th and 6, or do you put the ball in the air? Let's see.
And here it goes. Leonard, trouble throwing. And that will stop the drive. Pressure from the backside.
Can Brandon Cooks help this Bills passing offense, and why the key to beating Pittsburgh is letting James cook? Locked on Bills. Can Brandon Cooks help this Bills passing offense, and why the key to beating Pittsburgh is letting James cook? Locked on Bills starts now.
You are Locked On Bills, your daily Buffalo Bills podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Bills Mafia? It's Joe Marino, author of the Herd Mentality Substack, co-host of the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, co-host of the NFL First Read Podcast, and I'm your host of Locked On Bills. Locked On Bills is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I want to thank you for making Locked On Bills your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, I appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Well, folks, welcome in. This is our last conversation before the Bills face the Steelers in Week 13 in a game that is really important for both teams. Obviously, the Bills currently your number 7 seed. That's the last seed in the AFC playoffs at 7-4. And the Steelers are back to being the number 4 seed after the Ravens got smoked by the Bengals, the Bills' opponent next week on Thursday night. And so they're obviously battling the Ravens for the division, and the Bills are battling to make the playoffs. So there's a lot at stake for both of these teams on Sunday, a game that both sides need to win. So on today's episode, we're going to give you my 5-game predictions for Sunday. We'll talk to Dr. Kyle Trimble of Banged Up Bills about the injuries, but I want to start with some of the news of the week. And of course, the Bills have a new wide receiver, Brandon Cooks. He's had a great career. He really has. Really nice career. A player that in his prime was a really nice vertical threat. Yards after catch, speed, right? He certainly has brought those things. He's closing in on 10,000 receiving yards for his career. But if we're being honest, he has not produced meaningfully since 2021. He's been held under 700 receiving yards in each of the last 4 seasons. He's only averaged 17 yards per game this year
that's
for
what
the
we
Saints.
was missing. That's
and
what really all we
my
was missing was some
expectations
speed.
here are kind of low.
Now we got some, and now once
I don't
Keon
think
get
it
his
can
head
hurt.
out of his ass,
It certainly
we'll
can't hurt.
We'll be okay. Shakir,
The Bills can use help at receiver.
better get Kincaid and them open because now they got a
you
motherfucker to
probably
chase
think
around.
like
I
do,
like
that,
this.
Man, they just have not been able to get receivers going in any type of meaningful way since Joe Brady has taken over this offense. Even Stephon Diggs, they couldn't figure out how to get it going. So I apologize that my enthusiasm and my expectations are low for a receiver that's 32 years old that's added ahead of a Week 13 game that has never played for the Bills or caught a pass from Josh Allen. I just don't have a ton of confidence in this coming together in a way that makes a difference. I hope I'm wrong.
Josh finna make it
I really
work,
do.
bro.
I hope I'm wrong. I would have
finna make
loved
it
the
work,
idea of
bro.
Brandon Cooks in 2020. But it's not 2020. It's
I'm taking
almost
it for 50
2026. Now, again, it can't hurt. The Bills can use a professional receiver, right? Ian Coleman, huge issues there, right? Tyrell Shavers, I love the story, but, he's a depth player. Josh Palmer, can he get healthy and matter in this offense? Elijah Moore's been released. We'll talk about that in a second. Curtis Samuel, hurt all the time. So, yeah, they could use Brandon Cooks. I just have my doubts that it's going to come together in a meaningful way. I hope it does. I really do. The Bills need the help, and I hope it comes together and he winds up being a huge catalyst for offensive success down the stretch for this football team. Now, the Bills also released receiver Elijah Moore. Signed a 1-year, $2.5 million contract that was fully guaranteed. And boy, this is a bad signing, right? Did not age well. And it's a black eye, another black eye on the resume of Brandon Beane, which has just been dreadful, especially this offseason. I like the skill set. I think anybody can watch Elijah Moore at any point of ever seeing Elijah Moore play football and say, hey, it's a really nice skill set. Now, obviously, there's some challenges with the application of that skill set. Hasn't really latched on for the 3 teams that he's been on, and all 3 teams have needed help at receiver. In Buffalo in particular, he just never claimed much of a role. And again, I think it brings up bigger questions about wide receivers and roles under Joe Brady. Because outside of Khalil Shakir, who's kind of a very specialized player, what receiver has worked out? It's concerning. I think Elijah Moore's lack of physicality probably hurt his chances of playing a lot for the Bills. They require a lot of blocking out of the receivers, and kind of in a niche role, he just didn't do much. So, not a great use of $2.5 million. The Bills also welcome back Shaq Lawson to the practice squad. And look, my expectations are low here as well. He played one game in 2024, and he was not on a team at all so far this year. Wasn't in a camp, didn't have any type of offseason. I mean, he's coming in cold.
Where the fuck
to the practice
is the corner,
now, hopefully
man?
He doesn't have to play, but if we're being honest, TJ Sanders is getting reps at defensive end right now. TJ Sanders, the guy they drafted high in the second round, traded up to play defensive tackle. This guy's having to play defensive end. Daquan Jones is having to play defensive end. And so while I am annoyed about him being back in the mix, just like I know many of you are, well, I'm probably more annoyed that I'm watching TJ Sanders in his rookie season not playing in the correct position. So if that helps eliminate that, well, good. Welcome back, Shaq. I said this on the Bill Squad show. A point of pride for Brandon Beane in his career was when he was the interim general manager for the Carolina Panthers, I think in 2012 was the year. When he got that title, they fired Marty Herney, and he's the interim GM, and he signed 2 players off practice squads, Mario Addison and Graham Gano. Both players went on to have great careers. Mario Addison had 4 consecutive seasons of 9 or more sacks after Beane signed him off of the Washington practice squad. Graham Gano has become a very good kicker in the NFL. Where's that Brandon Beane? Where's the guy that did that? And that was a point of pride for him. Instead, it's Shaq Lawson on the wrong side of 30 and can't get a look in the league right now. Again, I don't want to overreact to a practice squad signing in week 13. I don't want to. But I think you can look at the bigger picture and find some of my takeaways here to be pretty reasonable. I think we're just looking for upside, right? We're looking for upside. That's what I'm hoping for. I want upside. I don't want more of the same. I want upside. And it's hard to find it right now. But Shaq Lawson back in the mix. The other piece of news that I want to address real quick is Tylan Grable. The Bills open up his 21-day practice window, so he's practiced all week. I'm recording this on Friday morning, so maybe he's been added to the roster. Maybe there's other moves, things that have happened that I don't know about, but I am recording this on Friday morning. So I don't know what the situation is. Obviously, I don't feel good about Spencer Brown being able to play this week. We'll see as it relates to Deion Dawkins. But this has kind of been a strange situation with Tylan Grable, who had a great rookie season for the Bills. Looked awesome in preseason, and he actually won the primary backup offensive tackle job coming out of camp. He was the offensive tackle that dressed on game days behind Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. Well, he suffered a core muscle injury, if I'm not mistaken, and he went on injured reserve. And then Ryan Vandemark was back in that spot. But eventually, it was once again Grable being the active third tackle and Ryan Vandemark being inactive. And I thought that really validated the player I watched in preseason. He was really good. And so I've been very excited about Tylan Grable. And he had a concussion during preseason, and he's been on injured reserve since. Like, this guy has not practiced or anything like that. And look, I don't have all the details. But this certainly appears to me like they intentionally stashed Tylan Grable on injured reserve for a long time to maintain flexibility, right? They probably didn't want to have to release Chase Lunt or, another different offensive lineman to make room for Tylan Grable. They can just keep him on injured reserve and have their cake and eat it too. Now, here's the challenge with that is, well, what happens if you suffer multiple injuries at offensive tackle and now all of a sudden you need them? Well, that's where the Bills are. They stashed them for too long. And now they're in a position where they're not going to have Spencer Brown. They may or may not have Deion Dawkins, and you got to figure this out. If you don't have both of those tackles, what are you going to do? You're going to start Ryan Vandemark and then what? Tylan Grable in his second year after not practicing for 3 months? Chase Lunt, who I would be surprised is able to step in and function at this point, given the skill set, his pedigree, and the circumstances? They stashed him for too long. They played with fire, and now they're getting burned. This guy's coming in cold, and you need him. Well, okay. Should have had him going sooner. Now, again, if his concussion was legit, and it's a 3-month concussion, then I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said any of that, but I'd be surprised if that were the case. This smells like a stash that was stashed for too long, and now you need him, and now he's not ready to go. Disappointing management there, for sure. All right, coming up next, we'll talk to Dr. Kyle Trimble about the injury situation, and boy, there's a lot to get into. Then we'll close things out with my predictions for Sunday, so folks, be sure to stick with me. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to play,
part-winning day designation, but we know he got beat up. He was sacked 8 times, hit 12 more, and he said his shoulder went numb at one point. We've seen him in practice wearing, some type of pad over his right elbow. What's going on with the quarterback? This is not something that makes me too happy.
So, Alan, he did get beat up. I don't recall him getting this beat up in quite a few years. So go back to what you said about those arm, shoulder going numb. That was on the left side. He did go down. That was from when I believe Will Anderson tackled him from behind. He landed hard on the left shoulder. He states it went numb and felt funny for a little bit. He did get some turf burn that they taped up, and that's in the pictures throughout the on the Bills website. So we know that was general turf burn. We saw that even during the pictures during the week. And as for the right side, he did have this thing called Hex Skin Turf Tape. It's a product by McDavid USA. It's something I had to look up and actually reached out to another vendor who I thought made it called XO Armor, but they directed me to the right place. And it's just a protective padding that allows them to protect against abrasions, trauma, any type of injury that to joints such as that allows them the flexibility to move the joint around without any inhibiting through a brace or anything else like that. So looks like he was trying it out on Wednesday. He then got rid of it on Friday. He's had hits to the area before with regards to hitting the funny bone, and that's what he said before. So this comes down to just make sure he's able to protect himself, the area, and make sure that he's not having any problems come Sunday.
So obviously don't ever love anything injury related with Josh Allen. He's definitely working through some stuff that he's going to play, but you could tell that, he's been banged up a little bit so far. And that's even more concerning because the Bills have ruled out 3 players for this game, including both starting offensive tackles in Spencer Brown and Deion Dawkins. Dawkins with a concussion, Spencer Brown with a shoulder. We saw, the struggles of Spencer Brown playing through that shoulder against Houston. Ultimately couldn't finish the game, but Deion Dawkins did get checked for a concussion. They put him back in the game, and now he's going to miss this next game with a concussion. What can you tell us about these offensive tackles?
It's not great. I mean, it's not great. That's the best way to put it. Going off of Brown first, it looked like he had suffered some type of either subluxation or even partial dislocation, which is subluxation of the right shoulder. This happened earlier in the third quarter. He tried to play through the rest of the series and then got the arm taped up, and this is the right arm specifically, and he just was not the same. And trying to go one-armed against any defensive end, much less Will Anderson, it just wasn't great for him. So this is one of the situations where if it was the playoffs, maybe you brace it up, tape the heck out of it, maybe he plays through it. But if he had done that, you probably have the same issue in that he's playing one-armed and he takes further hits and just isn't the same player. So it's good that they're resting this week. It's just unfortunate that you also have Deion Dawkins out on the other side. And I will say with Brown that if this is a labrum injury, he did tear the left side at the end of the 2023 season, I should say. And then he got that fixed and he came back just fine. So if this is the same case again, it's unfortunate, but linemen do play through these injuries a lot, and they just brace them up and keep moving along. As for Dawkins, we saw him go in for a concussion check midway through the second quarter, I believe it was, and there wasn't a ton of contact at the time, which made it real interesting, but he got checked out, came back in the game, and then he just wasn't looking the same from, with the benefit of hindsight, knowing he's a concussion protocol. Even Mike Catalana of one of the Rochester stations had noted that Deion Dawkins was a little bit off in the locker room when he interviewed him later on. So this does happen where guys go through the concussion check, were cleared, were able to return, and then they develop symptoms later. This isn't a knock on the medical staff or really anybody in general. It's just sometimes you get a hit, it looks like, okay, you're fine, you get cleared, and then you develop symptoms later. they did the right thing by putting him in the concussion protocol when they did realize that he had concussion. So keep in mind, when they do get assessed on the sideline, they're getting assessed by an independent neurological doctor. So this doesn't say that they're pushing him back out there, but I don't know that's something that Dawkins would have been trying to push to play through either, or like that he's had multiple hits to the head and knows how to game the system or anything. This is his first documented concussion. So for him to try to fake through things and then get back out there when he shouldn't be, I don't believe that would be the case there. So it's unfortunate Dawkins and Brown are both out. This is Dawkins' second injury second missed game due to injury in his entire career. Keep in mind, he was drafted in 2017. So that's incredibly fortunate he's been as durable as he is. So the Bills have a game plan how to work around this, and they have to figure out a way, because otherwise it's going to be another long day for Josh Allen if they don't plan to play without their two starting offensive tackles.
In scouring through some practice photos from Friday, it looks to me like Ryan Vandemark's going to play left tackle and Alec Anderson's going to play right tackle. And Alec Anderson is the Bills' primary reserve interior offensive lineman, but he did play right tackle in college at UCLA. So and has had some preseason reps at tackle as well for Buffalo. And look, it kind of makes sense. Your other options are Chase Lunt or Tylen Grable. Chase Lunt, I'd have a hard time believing he's ready to go and functional for an NFL game. And then Tylen Grable, well, he's been cold, right? He's been on injuries since preseason with a concussion. I know we want to get to Terrell Bernard as another player that's ruled out, but since we're talking offensive tackles, let's get to Tylen Grable. They opened his 21-day window to practice. He's practiced in full all week long. He's officially listed as questionable for the game, according to Sean McDermott and what he said on the radio. But it would certainly appear that he's headed towards being on this roster and at least in a reserve capacity. What do you think took so long here?
I suspect that it was just a stash and there wasn't an opportunity to bring him back to the roster. I don't know that the concussion lasts as long as it did. I think we know he had a setback at some point at the end of August, because he did attempt to return to practice on August 19th and then was shut down again. So I think the only offensive line injury that we saw before that was Spencer Brown, I believe, with a calf injury or a lower leg injury. So I just don't think there was an opportunity to bring him back. And when you see two offensive tackles go out at the same time, you got to bring him back up, knowing that they have an empty roster spot for him to do that.
Let's get to Terrell Bernard, Bills starting middle linebacker. Ugly-looking elbow injury during the game, some friendly fire with Matt Milano. He's out, but it doesn't look like he's headed towards injury reserve. Same thing with Spencer Brown. Obviously, that could change on Saturday, but maybe they avoided something long-term with both these players.
Correct. Yeah, like I said with Brown, it's just something that offensive linemen can play through. It just, you got to brace it up and get through the rest of the season, unless it's just going to be so bad that they can't, have any stability left in the shoulder. As for Bernard, I was worried about that he suffered a forearm fracture we saw with Taron Johnson last year when he took that helmet to the forearm when Milano unfortunately hit him. But it was more of a hyperextension at the elbow. This is something that in playoffs, maybe he could have braced up and played through, but then you can't really block effectively. You can't tackle very effectively. And then this thing's just so angry because, the hyperextension, there's not anywhere for that bone to really go further than it should have been. So there might be other underlying damage in there, but it just give him a chance to rest. And the way he's been playing, this is probably for the best to get him, hopefully right for the playoffs. But it's unfortunate you're missing him, but that's just the reality of the NFL.
Two players listed as questionable for the Bills, tight end Dalton Kincaid, who's missed a couple games in a row with a hamstring. Then Josh Palmer, who was a limited participant on Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, was limited on Friday with an ankle designation, questionable for Sunday. What do you have on Kincaid and Palmer?
We'll go with Palmer first. McDermott had said that the ankle was still sore, the left side being from the Atlanta Falcons game. So it's something that he was just working through. He stopped short of saying it was aggravated during practice, but it sounds like he's going to play based off of this is the same ankle. And we know those high ankle sprains can linger. So this isn't really too concerning. And it's fortunate that he could be ready to go even if he's not still 100%, because that's just how the nature of the injury is. As for Kincaid, he was do not participate on Wednesday, limited participant Thursday and Friday. We don't get any video of him moving around, which isn't a surprise because they want to keep everything close to the vest. Looking at how that practice presentation went, I went back through and looked at all the different hamstring injuries since 2017 to see what the plan was for when they have guys participate like that. There's a few instances of that. Some are good, some are not good. The guys that haven't played with a do not participate limited were LaShawn McCoy, Devin Singletary, and Shaq Thompson. All were questionable, did not play. The guys that did play were Tywan Jones, Sam Martin, and Robert Foster. So keep in mind with all those different players there, Sam Martin is a special teamer, same with Tywan Jones, and then Robert Foster was the only exception where he played a lot of snaps that game after having that designation. But based off the data that we see and the positional demands and the number of snaps that Kincaid's going to play, I would lean toward him sitting out again one more week just to make sure he's right for the playoffs. I want to say my gut that he's going to play, but the data says otherwise, and there's a lot of data to support how they manage these hamstrings and know when there's a chance to re-injure him. So the Bills are fairly conservative when it comes to this, and I would not be surprised if we keep him out one more week, given the cold, the recency of the injury, and then just knowing what they have to do to get to the playoffs.
Last thing here is Curtis Samuel, and maybe this is the last time we discuss Curtis Samuel, who has just been banged up throughout his entire career, and so unsurprising that his entire legacy in Buffalo is going to be pretty much remembered by injuries. But the Bills put him on injured reserve with his elbow/knee injury. Gabe Davis is now on the active roster. I guess your potential final thoughts on Curtis Samuel.
It's like a mercy killing. It's like a mercy killing is the best way to put it there. Just injury after injury after injury after injury. I know the guy wants to play. I know he wants to get out there. He's a talent when he does play, but he just was never healthy. And it's funny is when you have all different beat reporters talking about different injuries he's dealing with, you could have listed every body part and he probably had injured some type of different body part at one point or another. So he went on the injured reserve for an elbow, and then it was a knee injury this week. And I have no idea where this knee injury came from because he hadn't played last game. So he can return later this season if they need wide receiver help. But at this point, it's like just get him to the injured reserve, fill his roster spot with somebody who's available, and move on and hopefully get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and look, if they get to the playoffs and they would like to have him, maybe he be available, he could be an X factor or something like that, and maybe that's their best chance to actually get something from him is to put him on the shelf and break glass in case of emergency. All right, that's way too much to discuss. That wasn't the plan, but the Bills, they're banged up. Hopefully they can get through this one healthy and get ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. But either way, Dr. Kyle Trimble, thanks for hopping on and sharing some of your expertise.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe, and go Bills.
All right, folks, welcome back. It is prediction time here on the podcast. Real quick, would love to remind you about thejoemarino.com. I have got a lot going on. I've got other podcasts. I have other content opportunities.
Look at me. Don't ever put your hand in your pocket. You understand what the I just said?
Zaire Brooks, 6.
Check on 911. What's the address emergency? I just had a package stolen out of my apartment complex, and I saw the man as it was happening. Okay? Where would you say the time lapse was? Probably about 5-10 minutes since this happened. Was he white? It was a male or female? It was a man. White, black, Hispanic, or Asian? Black. He was driving a car, a white Xfinity van. And it was a white Xfinity van? Yes. Which way did he go? I'm not sure. I live in an apartment complex, and he just drove out of the apartment complex. Okay. What color shirt was he wearing? I don't remember. I was up on the 3rd floor watching this happen because my package was down below. All right, we'll get somebody to you, okay? Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
On June 5th, 2023, Dunwoody police officers responded to a package theft reported at a local apartment complex in Dunwoody, Georgia. Officers quickly spotted the suspect van and initiated a traffic stop.
32 final stop would be at the Publix parking lot next to the Restore.
32, perfect.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Great, how about yourself?
I'm Officer Shaw at the Dunwoody Police Department. Where you coming from?
Just did a job at
41 Jack. 41 Jack.
changes to a civil dispute. Show me code 5. Place me on an identity theft at the same location. Also code 5.
I just Ashford done with it.
What was you doing there?
I just did an installation.
Installation? Did you have boxes with you?
Boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did? What kind of installation did you do?
I just did, it was just a cable box installation.
Where'd you put the boxes when you did the installation? You had them outside, inside the apartment?
Yeah, both.
Both?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
To confirm they had the right suspect, the officer returned to his patrol car and called the victim to get a clear understanding of what had happened.
Hi, Catherine. This is Officer Shaw with the Dunwoody Police Department. How you doing? Okay, what happened with what you saw with the larceny? So you didn't see... So the package wasn't at your front door? Okay, you assumed that it was dropped off at the first floor, and then... You did see it? Was the package gone when you went down there? Okay. And you... Okay. Alrighty. Give me 1 second, okay?
So what's going on?
So she advised that she had a package delivered at the first floor, but it was heavy, so that's why she left it there. She says she hears like somebody dragging something that sounds like her package because it was heavy out the complex, and all she saw was when she looked out was him and saw him getting in the van, door closing, and her package was gone. So she didn't see him take it. She just assumed that he took it or he saw who took it. So we can ask him, did he get a package? He said he did do a installation over there, so he was over there.
Okay.
But.
So let me talk to him real quick. I'm gonna try to get that verbal shooter in.
Okay, yeah. And then then let me know what he say.
Okay. Boss man. Alright, so the reason we stopped is because they're saying supposedly they gave me your description, your vehicle stuff, saying that you supposedly took a package from the apartment complex. Did you take any packages out there?
I had a box.
Okay. You didn't take no package? So you don't mind if I take a quick look at your van? Yeah. Real quick? Alright, cool. You can step outside for me so you can open the bag for me. We can go from there.
Did you see anybody with a large box or package?
Well, it was a large box out there.
Okay. Did you see somebody who took it?
Do you have that package in the van?
Do you have it?
You do?
You took it?
I'm gonna turn off first real quick, man. Alright. Well, actually, you're down, right?
Yeah, just two.
I'll take
sure?
Yeah, I'm on that one.
You sure?
Yeah, so you're being arrested for theft, okay, man? So you basically stole somebody's package, okay? 33-110. Where is it at now? That's the one?
Yep, dog food. Yep, that's it.
Let's go right to my car real quick and go from there.
Stole some fucking dog food. Stupid niggas. What you stealing dog food for?
Man, I'm
dumbass shit. Dumbass shit. What you stealing dog food for? Stupid ass. You at work.
For me real quick. Face that way.
And regardless, what the fuck?
Like I said, I'll let you call them.
Dumbass.
Like what? You got anything in your pocket?
Dumb.
Get your phone right here. Got you. Alright, jump inside for me real quick, man. Jump inside for me. Who we calling? Actually, sorry, right there.
My mom.
Alright, so I'm gonna give you one phone call. You wanna call your supervisor or your mom?
My mom.
Okay. You have her in here as mom?
Yeah, Mom Dukes.
Right. Mom Dukes?
Am I gonna need to get bailed out today?
Yeah. Or whenever she can.
Dumbass.
Actually, no, this ain't a citation. This is gonna be a warrant. So you're gonna see a judge first, okay?
Before I go to jail?
No, once you go to jail in order to get out.
Dog over dog food, bro?
Cause you
Man,
fucking
was
stupid.
it yours? It wasn't, right? That's called theft. Yeah.
Mom!
Please leave
Can you call again?
Huh? Yeah, well, stand by, okay? I'll be right back with you, okay?
Miss Catherine, describe the dog food for me. From, where'd you order it from? Chewy? Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is, we got the guy, we did a traffic stop on him, we're over here in the Publix parking lot. So, we're gonna come over, get all your information, and give you a box back, okay? We got him in custody. Alrighty. So give me 1 second, stay near your phone, okay? I'm gonna call you when I'm gonna come meet with you, okay? No problem. You want Brown and Brown, Moreno?
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Hopefully I win some fucking games.